It's our final week 11 NFL picks against the spread show. We're going to have some fun tonight, I'm sure, talking NFL picks and other stuff as we usually do on Friday nights. Before we intro everything, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, something for the merch store is our September is Lust Month t-shirt. I was trying to find my November is Sloth Month shirt. I don't know where it is. I can't find it anywhere. Sometimes laundry gets lost. Sometimes it's a sock, sometimes it's your monthly sin shirt. But you can get maybe I should just buy another one. You can get that as well as everything else at the merch store. 20% off sale right now. You could change the colors of everything. You can change shirts into hoodies or women tank tops or infant onesies, or if you're insane, long sleeve t-shirts. If you like that for some reason, I don't know why anyone would, but you can do that if you want. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. Jerks to the College Years, the most recent one where I made fun of people at Penn State. My first book was A Safety and a Field Goal, which is a top 5 topics book about the NFL, mostly serious stuff, but some fun stuff. And also, please consider super chats, super stickers. Really the best way to support the show. We had Kevin Kovac yesterday give us $30 in super chats, super stickers, and then the day before he gave us like $40 in super chats, super stickers. So thank you so much, Kevin. Really appreciate it. Slew gave us a $5.55 super chat on Wednesday. So guys, really appreciate it so much and really keeps the show going. All right, we are joined by Quacky T. Tom, how are you? How was your week 10?
Walter, here we are again. Hello to you and hello to everyone out there in the Walter football family. Holy cow, man! The upsets continue. I came on here and I called the Saints, did I not? And it seems like I've been coming up with at least one upset win a week. Our card went 3-2 for the Circa contest, and my super contest card, my individual one on my bookie, I went 4-1 last week. So my record on that card is 32-18, and I'm tied for 38th place. So wow. I'm hoping this streak can continue. I've been I don't know. I've been going with my gut a lot this year, and so far it's paid off, and I just hope it can continue. We're having a pretty consistent season ourselves.
Yeah, we are. We're 27-23 in the Circa, which is not great, but we've had so many bad breaks, including last week. We had the Browns when the Jets had 2 kick return touchdowns. Felt like that was the game we could have won. We did deserve to lose the Steelers game, so I felt like we could have gone 4-1, but it feels like that's been the case all year, and I think we have a good feel for these games. So yeah, like I said, I'm eager to get into these games. Drew asked us a question: if it were up to you, would you start Chase Brown or Archie Harvey this week? I saw that question before we went live, and I've been thinking about it for a while. It's so close. I have them both graded highly. I think I would start RJ Harvey though. I don't know if it's like the shiny new toy factor, but Denver's going to want to run the ball. Kansas City's bad against the run. The Steelers are bad too, but I don't know. It feels like Denver. I don't know. I mean, Denver, they're at home at least. I don't know. It's so close. I can't make an argument for one. Maybe not. Why not both? I don't know who your other running backs are. So yeah. And Sue asking, Andy and Walt went 240 minutes on Wednesday. Yeah, we had a 4-hour show. How many minutes are you contributing tonight? If we have a 4-hour show, we're done at 3:20 a.m.
Well, we'll see how long I can last tonight. But hey, we should host like the Quackathon. How you do those walkathons.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll give you like $10 for every mile you walk. We had this idea where we just for every hour we talk, will people sponsor us? We could advertise it. We could advertise it at all the international games when I'm the next season when I'm on the Walter football eyes on the ground for all international games. That's what we're trying to. So that way you can get your sleep.
Yeah. That would be nice. Well, I get my sleep anyway. I don't watch the first half of these stupid games anyway.
You're missing out on some important stuff though.
Yeah, right. those punts in the Broncos Jets game. I'm sorry I missed those.
Yeah, that was.
The problem is I go to bed at 6, so if I wake up at 9 or so to watch the games, 3 hours of sleep, I can function with 4 hours, or maybe 4.5 is better. three is pretty rough. I don't think I could do that. So,
Mm.
yeah, I've decided not to watch the first half of these games. I do watch it eventually on replay, but like not live. And then I wake up and it's halftime and it feels good. And I really don't miss betting these games. I did bet the first few ones, the Minnesota ones especially. And like I told you before, I would have like not nightmares, but I would wake up and I would dream that like Minnesota was up 17-0, and I'd wake up and like, oh cool, Minnesota's up 17-0, and I'm like, wait a second, that's not real. Like, I have to check the score now. And of course, like Minnesota's losing both times, and I checked it. Like it's like the worst feeling. I couldn't do it. So I've sworn off betting or having anything to do with these stupid European exhibition games. We could lie bet in the second half. That's actually what we did with Daniel Jones rushing yards. We laddered him. We hit all three steps on the ladder. Yeah, we that was pretty awesome. Credit Evan for that. He's the one who pointed it out to me. But yeah, live betting's fine when I'm awake, but I don't want to dream about one team going ahead when they're not really ahead.
Hey, Walt, when was the last time you've had a bloomin' onion?
I hate onions. I would never have an onion.
Okay, here's the thing. Well, not just any onion, a bloomin' onion.
Because I don't want anything to do with onions.
Here, you don't eat them at all.
I hate onions with a passion.
I like them, but in on my terms, though.
Okay, I used to like. I never liked them, but I didn't hate them until one day I was in Tampa actually visiting Charlie. My wife was there too. It's back in 2014. And we went to this restaurant near his house. It was like, I forget, it was called the salad bowl or something bowl, where you can have anything into a salad bowl. Like, you'd be like cheeseburger salad. They put everything into a salad. You know what I mean? So I ordered something and it had a lot of onions in it, like a ridiculous amount of onions in it. And I ate it. And then that night I had a nightmare where I was just eating nothing but onions out of a bowl. And I woke up in like a sweat, and I vomited. I ran to the bathroom. I puked all over the toilet.
My God!
And ever since then, I can't eat onions. Like, I just can't do it. It's disgusting to me.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You had a traumatic. You had diner's remorse.
I did.
You had diner's.
Never again. Onions.
You had a traumatic moment with a food.
Yeah.
A traumatic experience with food there.
Yeah, it was awful. I can't do it anymore.
Wow, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I used to like the bloomin' onion when I was younger, like mainly the sauce, and like I like onions if it complements other things, like in a salad, or like maybe like pepperoni, green pepper, onion, sausage, and mushroom pizza or something like that. If it was like mixed in like that, but it can't be too excessive. And then like I started thinking about it. I haven't had a bloomin' onion in a long time. But that's like the thing to get at Outback Steakhouse for those that go to Outback Steakhouse. I don't even go there that often.
I've been to an Outback Steakhouse in a long time. I can't remember when the last time I was there.
I'd say I go like maybe once a year, but it's like that's like the thing to get. But it's like I was there a couple weeks ago, actually, for the first time in several years.
The problem is that the problem is with two kids under 4, we really don't get to go out to eat too often. Although, I'll say this: like we do shop for deals. Like Chick-fil-A, kids eat free every Monday, so we go there every Monday. And then Red Robin, kids eat free. The first Wednesday of each month, so we go there.
They still have the bottomless fries there.
They do, yeah, great.
But like at the end of the day, because I used to eat the bloomin' onion there, like I guess in my youth or something, maybe. But like at the end, it's like I'm eating a fried onion. Like, what am I doing? Like, this is I couldn't eat it anymore.
What's that? I mean, people eat onion rings. I never liked those either.
I used to eat onion rings too, but it's like same thing. Like, why am I eating a fried onion of all things?
Yeah, I was one time in Penn State at the Blue Spoon. I was they had onion rings, and I for some reason I thought they were mozzarella sticks, and I got some, and I took a bite, and this is disgusting. Maybe that's part of the reason I hate onions too.
You thought this? You're like, oh wow, how did they get the cheese like melted in the
right
shape?
Yeah. I was not happy.
You thought it was like a special kind of mozzarella.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like quite shaped in a circle, it wasn't quite a ring, it was a weird shape. So I thought there were mozzarella sticks.
I got you. Yeah. Oh man, that's horrible. You ever do that? Like when you take a sip of something, like Does that ever happen to you? Like, if you forget what you're drinking?
Yeah, one time when I was a kid in school, it was like second grade or something. I had like a juice box or whatever. It's probably Ecto Cooler because it's like all I drank back then. But like I grabbed the juice box and I took it and like I was like, what is this? And like it was not my Ecto Cooler. I grabbed other kids juice box by accident. But it was like fruit. It was like cranberry fruit punch or something. And so I looked around, he didn't see. I just like put it back. Like I didn't touch it.
But it's like a shock to the senses, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if you don't expect it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. One time I thought I had a water like in my cup holder. I was driving around and I went to take a sip of it, and it was Diet Coke, and it was like it sounds so silly, but like it really like shocks your senses. Like if it's not like what you're expecting, I don't know why. I'm sure many others have experienced that. Hey, Walt, shoot for the moon. Even if you fall short, you'll still be among the stars. Remember that used to be in like every girl's AIM profile back in the 90s.
I remember. I know the quote. I don't remember it being in the AIM profiles too much.
Oh yeah,
maybe I didn't know too many girls.
Yeah, that was like you remember that saying though. It's like a motivational like.
Yeah,
you might see it like on like posters at school and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There'll be a cat on there or something.
Yeah, aren't the stars higher than the moon though? Isn't that incorrect?
No, what are you talking about? They're all in space. I mean, the moon's closer to us because like other stars are just other suns. You know, they're farther away, but they're not up higher. They're just farther away from us. That's why they're smaller.
Would you ever go to another planet? Like if it was as easy as like flying through an airport?
Yeah, I think I'd do that. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No way, man. Not me.
Unfortunately, the only hospitable planet we have in our solar system is Mars, outside of Mars, of course. But like, you can't like you would die miserable deaths on all the other planets. Like Mars is even bad because like they have these like the weather's actually on daytime at the equator, it's actually like 60 degrees. It's like not bad. The problem is that they have these sands. 60 degrees on it's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, the one problem is that at night it's like negative 250, but that's one issue. The other issue is that there's crazy sandstorms where like huge rocks like fly around. Just even if you're in a spacesuit that like gives you oxygen and prevents the negative degree temperature, you might get hit in the head with this giant boulder and just like die, you know? So that's the most hospitable planet we have outside of,
habitable,
Earth,
right?
Yeah. So
I'm sure they provide a lot of good hospitality too, though.
Those hospitals,
yeah. No, but like what I'm just saying, like, let's say technology advanced in such a way that we were able to live there. We could get there. Like, would you like go into space and go to another planet? And there's no way. I'm not leaving this planet.
I mean, depends what's there. Like, I mean, there's got to be something worthy of it. Like, why not? I mean, if like Mars is better than Earth at one point, why not? Why not go? Like, what if Earth sucks at some point? Because, you know, we can get into politics if you'd like. But like,
you wouldn't be scared to be going to outer space. That's what I just want to know, if you'd be scared to go into outer space.
I mean, like,
do you ride roller coasters and stuff? Or?
Yeah, I mean, there are risks in flying airplanes, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure when it comes to a time when people are taking space shuttles and stuff like that, it's going to be relatively safe. I mean, like, there are risks to everything. There's risks to driving to the grocery store. Someone could be drunk and hit you. You know, like there are risks to everything. So, but yeah, like once we start traveling space like commonly, then it's not going to be as risky as it is now. Like, I wouldn't do it now. Like, there's no reason to do it now. Like, but in the future, sure. We'll see. I mean, we'll see how long in the future that is. But yeah, I would definitely do that.
Okay.
Yeah, and you know, there are like seeing other planets too. Like I think there's one planet like Kepler or something. They found they're like pretty hopeful that you know, people could live on it. The problem is it's twice as big as Earth, so the gravity is going to be a problem. But you know, I don't know. I feel like they'll find something.
Wow, you're willing to fly into space, and I'm not even willing to eat at a Carrabba's. To bring the story full circle back to your that story about you with the onions. I
Every
went
time
to
every time you Carrabba's, it's I've severe bathroom problems after.
do you
So
really?
yeah, I don't know why I do.
I
Um,
got oh, go ahead.
no, I was about to say, like, I feel like space travel's like less risky than eating Carrabba's.
I don't know if I go that far.
I
But
would.
no, I went when my cousin graduated med school like over 10 years. Oh, it was about 10 years ago. We all went had like a big family dinner. We had like a big table like reserved like at Carrabba's, and then we went to the Hard Rock. We went to the Hard Rock that night. It was the night of the Pacquiao Mayweather fight in 2015. I remember it vividly, and so anyhow, like I was just like there at the casino. I was like watching the fight, and all of a sudden, like I just started like sweating like profusely, and I was texting my cousins. I was like, "You guys ready to go soon?" And they're like, "Like we just got here. Like, come, what are you talking about? Like, we're gonna hang out for a while." So I slept in the bed of my cousin's truck until they got back. Like I was just feeling so sick,
Mm.
and then later, I mean, I puked my guts out. Like that was one of the most horrible experience. I just got like food poisoning from it.
Wow.
So, and I'm not trying to say like, I just had a bad experience. That's all. But like, I can't go back there now
Okay.
because you can like, just like the smell of it. Like, and I like Italian food, but like, not there. I can't go back there again after that. That was
Yeah.
a bad experience.
Yeah. I wonder why we both had bad experiences with it. It's kind of strange. Um,
Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. Wow. I guess our friendship was meant to be, huh? Based on the Carrabba's criteria.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
I like Cheesecake Factory more if you're talking like, Italian restaurants. I love those macaroni and cheese meatballs that they have. They're so good.
I've only been
Uh,
there a few times. I'm not like terribly. Don't they have like a trillion things on their menu?
it's been a while, but that place is so dark. I don't know. Maybe it's just the location near me, but like it's like you need like a flashlight to read the menu. It's like insanely dark. You can't see anything.
I do kind of recall that. I think I went to one a few years ago. Years
Yeah.
ago. There's a thing going around that women were complaining about, like men taking them to the Cheesecake Factory on dates. Man, I'd be thrilled if someone took me to the Cheesecake Factory. That's all I'm going
Yeah.
to say on that. But
I would too. Yeah, we had this discussion last week where I took the girl to IHOP.
oh yeah, man, that's right. I'd be thrilled, man, if you took me anywhere,
yeah, me
even
too.
even
Me too.
McDonald's, maybe, even though the quality is going down. I know McDonald's has been a point of discussion here on these shows many a time, but I really don't eat fast food much anymore. But I was driving back from Pennsylvania. I was up there last month, and I was like, I'll just like get something like on the like to go. I didn't
Mhm.
even eat half of it. Like I didn't eat any of the fries. It was terrible, man.
Really.
And it's not that it ever was, but it's like it's not food. It's something else, and it's expensive now too.
Yeah,
Stuff's
it is.
really expensive. Like you might as well go to Outback and get a bloomin' onion.
Yeah, you can go to a restaurant and eat just as
That's what you should
cheaply.
do.
You can
Go get
well,
a bloomin' onion.
I will not. But you can go to a restaurant and eat there, and it's just as cheap as like fast food. Like fast food's become so expensive. It's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah.
I went to Sourworks tonight to get dinner for me and my wife, and I got two salads, one for each of us, and I got a medium soup, and that came out to be $40. Like that's crazy. How's that $40? Like
Yeah.
if,
Oh
we
my
went out to
god.
dinner by ourselves, it probably would have been like 50 or so. Like there's no reason they should be like that close to each other.
Yeah, it's crazy. And but like especially like if I go to Chipotle and I get a bowl like with no guac, it comes out to less than $10. And that's like
I don't like
actually,
Chipotle.
oh really? I like
Yeah,
Chipotle.
I think it's so bland. I don't know. I went there. To be fair, only ate there once with Charlie. We were it was in Houston. We were there for the Super Bowl, and we were just like looking for somewhere to eat on Saturday. And there's a Chipotle right near our hotel, so we went there, and it's like so like below average food. It wasn't like disgusting, but I was like, how do people eat this? There's like nothing to this food at all.
Oh, really? I like it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And of the option, I mean, the food is for, I used to work there. So like the
yeah.
food like is all like, fresh and stuff. It's like of like the casual dining, like it's probably the best, some of the best you can get, I would say. But like that's cheaper. Like the like a fast like a value meal like at like McDonald's or Wendy's is a few dollars more than that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
How are all these places, like all these food establishments, staying in business? There's a lot of places to eat, and then like there's grocery stores. How do they all
I
stay in business? People are eating a lot.
I think that I think they're losing business though. Like if you look at any of the stock prices of these companies, like they're all like down the drain. Maybe not McDonald's, but like when I know Wendy's just like collapsed. Like it's because no one's eating there. They don't have the play places either. Because in fairness, they're only 42 million Gen Alphas, which compared to like 70 something million Gen Zers. So like people just aren't having kids anymore, and so. Yeah, I can understand them like shutting down the play place, which it still makes me angry. But like, no one really goes there anymore. Like there's the McDonald's around my neighborhood, which is actually the McDonald's Trump worked at that one Sunday, quote unquote work. But like he was there for a couple hours. That's actually the McDonald's right around the corner from me. And like, yeah. Whenever I go in there, there's like two people in there, and it's just kiosks. There's no one at the desk or the cash register. You just order something at the kiosk, and then someone from the back brings something out to you, and that's it. Like, and there's like usually like an old man there, and like and then like a mother with like one child or two children. Like that's it. There's no one out there. It's crazy. So I don't know how they're still in business.
Yeah, and a lot of them like it's almost all kiosk ordering now too. Like there's not
No.
really. It's hard to get like help there. I've seen.
Well,
I won't say.
that's the $15 minimum wage. It's like, hey, you want $15? Goodbye. We're gonna have kiosks. Like,
Yeah,
congratulations
like
on that.
there's hardly like anyone like there to like there's not someone like designated to the counter and a lot of it, because I used to drive Uber Eats.
Yeah.
So like you would notice like when I would go in to like pick up the orders, you'd have to kind of like flag them down because there's not someone like actually like manning the counter anymore, because
Yeah.
hardly anybody is coming up to like walk in and or like walk up and like speak their order to the person like they did back in the horse and buggy days.
it's so impersonal. I hate it. Like I like when I go to the bank, you can always do the drive through or whatever. I always like walking in. I like talking to people. I think that's maybe it has to do with like me just working at home. So I don't really get to talk to people. But like
Yeah.
I do like to talk to people, and like you can't do that anymore. Like what are you supposed to do if you're this young bachelor and you're trying to hit on an attractive girl who's working the cash register? You can't do that anymore at McDonald's. Like your chances of meeting someone are just so low. You know what I mean?
Well, you can just use the kiosk, and you're one step closer to having one of them AI girlfriends. So there's practice for that too.
Yeah, it's like a dating app.
Oh,
Like the
yeah.
kiosk would have like a dating app attached to it.
Yeah. Oh my god, I've lost my freaking mind, man. Yeah. No, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Chick-fil-A is good. I would say the slew. Chick-fil-A, yeah, Chick-fil-A is like it's still old school, and there's still people in there. I'll give them that. Like there's a lot. Whenever we go on every Monday, there's always like 8 to 10 people in there, which is like quadruple what McDonald's has. So yeah.
Yeah, usually like when I used to do Uber Eats, because I did that for several years. Like those places are like the Chick-fil-A's are always busy, and I'll be honest, like I don't understand why. Because I think Chick-fil-A's food is fine, like it's good, but like it's definitely overrated. I don't think it's worthy of having that like the line out like to the point where it's like blocking traffic on some of these roads, depending on where the store is located. And they have like a Chick-fil-A employee like directing traffic. Oh, that would be horrible to work there. I would hate to do like I work at Chick-fil-A, I direct the traffic. Like that sounds like traffic control. That's not an easy job.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A traffic control.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm telling you, because
you.
there's going to be people that like they're going to be trying to like sneak in there and swerve around. They need their chicken now, man.
I know.
They're not going to listen to you, and then you got to put your fist down and show them your authority as traffic controller.
You will respect my authority.
Yeah. It's. I just don't understand. Like it is not that good, and like therefore I never go there. And now I will say to its credit, even though those lines are long, the times I have gone, it you do get through relatively quickly, but
Yeah.
it's not like it's just not that good. I don't think it's good, but it's severely overrated in my opinion.
Yeah, I haven't seen one. I'm cold glad. I don't think I have. But no, I disagree. I think it's really good. Of all the fast food, I think Chick-fil-A is at the top. It's not like restaurant food, but I think it's still really good. I think the Southwest salad's really good. Their regular chicken sandwich is really good. I like the fries. Like they have good milkshakes. Like the kids love them, but I mean, there's a reason why we go every Monday, and outside of it being free for kids, I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy it, and like the rare Monday where we don't go because like we have plans or something. Like, I'm like, oh man, we don't get to go to Chick-fil-A. Like disappointed, you know. And the customer service is really good too. Like they have never gotten anything wrong. Like if I go to a Wendy's, there used to be a Wendy's. There used to be a couple Wendy's near me. There's one Wendy's near my one of my gyms that I go to. It's LA Fitness. So it's like one of the LA Fitnesses. Like they always will get something wrong. Like there's no doubt. And then what's that? Panera Bread. I have never gotten a correct order of Panera Bread. Not
oh,
once.
really?
Not once. It's always wrong. Something's always missing, or something's always added to the sandwich that's not that shouldn't be there. Like or the croutons are missing. Like something is always wrong. Like always, like without fail. And like
wow,
but Chick-fil-A has never done me wrong that way. Never.
That's interesting because I used to go to Panera a pretty decent bit because when I would be on the road for work, I would stop somewhere like for like my lunch break and like work from like somewhere where I could get Wi-Fi, and a lot of times that was a Panera, and they never like messed up my order or anything. I always had a good experience with them. Wow, I never had that experience at all.
Yeah, and one time, my wife's salad had a fly in it. Like this is
oh nice.
It's not no, she had issues for a while. Like she puked when she saw it, and like for weeks she would like throw up a lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it just really messed her up. So
oh no.
Yeah. I
mean, so I feel bad for laughing now. I'm a jerk.
Well, I should have told her like, hey, bugs are a delicacy in some countries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no, that sounds horrible. So she can't eat salads, and I can't eat.
Well, that's a long time. This is like 8 years ago or 7 years
oh
ago.
really?
Yeah. It was a while ago, so it's not an issue anymore. But like for 2 months, she would just puke like whenever she would like eat anything. Like it really
wow.
did a number on her. It was pretty bad.
Oh my god. That would mess with me too. I guess that's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear that. Do you remember Friendlies?
I loved Friendlies. We used to there used to be one near my swim club, and we would after every swim meet, we'd all drive up to Friendlies, and like we'd have like 30 people in there. I'm sure like the workers would hate us coming in, but like it was great. I used to love it all the time.
Yeah, we used to do that with like after I was in band, and we would go there like after like the football games or whatever. And but like all of them, like there are still a few around there. Like I think I saw one in Berks County once. No, I think the one in Berks County is still there, but there used to be one right down the street from me growing up, and I would go a good bit, but it was kind of notorious for having like not very good service. And I think that's why it closed down. And I think I swear I read or heard somewhere that like a lot of their locations closed down for the same reason. Like they're kind of like notorious for like slow or bad service. But I don't know, for the most part they were okay. They did like mess up our stuff like every now and then, but it wasn't horrible. I don't know. I also don't get like get too bent out of shape over like my dining experience. I don't experience diner's remorse. Doesn't exist for me.
Yeah, I usually don't. I guess. I don't know. I feel like I don't know if someone tells me it's like hey, I went to so and so place, and they're like, oh, did you have this? And I'm like, oh no, I did not. No, I didn't know it was good. Maybe that's like the only time. But the Friendlies near me closed as well. The one that I talked about. I don't know why. But it seems like a lot of the Friendlies have closed, and maybe it has to do with people not having money to eat out, or maybe COVID did a number on them. Like I'm sure. Like, I mean, restaurants that was like must have been an awful time to have a restaurant. Like all their food went bad. Like they must have lost so much money. It's like absurd, and for what? For what? Nothing should have closed. And I'm sure you don't want to really get into that, but like it was. I don't know. It's so stupid the way that whole thing went down.
No, I certainly agree, and it's hard to believe that that is coming up on 6 years ago
Jeez,
where that
that's
started.
totally that's crazy, isn't it?
Wow. That
Yeah.
it feels like two.
Yeah, remember that March day when Rudy Gobert tested positive? He was like
Oh, he was licking the microphones. Oh my
yeah,
god.
he was like patient zero almost. I know like Chinese people were passing out and stuff, but like that was when Rudy Gobert went down with a positive, everything shut down. Like it's funny, it's just that like he was it. That was it. Like he shut everything down, including like the game that night, the later game that night. So yeah, it's almost 6 years. In 3 months, 4 months, it'll be 6 years.
I remember I had through my girlfriend at the time, her dad had gotten us tickets to see a Magic game. It was Magic and Bulls, and it was like I think like the club seats or like the box seats. I don't know, something nice. He got it through work or I don't know what. But we were about to go, and the night before is when they shut everything down.
Oh,
And I was like, I mean, not that I'm like, oh, boo hoo, but I was just like, oh yeah, of course. And I just, yeah, I never forget that. That was such an interesting year. The bubble year.
Yeah. We would do Korean baseball DraftKings lineups and
Oh yeah.
what was that stupid game that we used to watch?
It wasn't World of Warcraft.
No,
It
not
was
World of Warcraft. It was I forget what I even forget what it
League
was.
of Legends.
Yeah, League of Legends. We used to do DraftKings lineups for League of Legends, and we used to just watch it. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I remember texting you. We'd be up at like freaking 3 a.m. and stuff, watching some of it. That was fun. We had some fun though. It was interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And I remember DraftKings was doing like simulated games. It's like,
oh yeah, with the Madden stuff, it's so annoying, and like some of the results wouldn't make any sense. I'm like, why are we doing this? It's just so stupid. Just like open this and open everything, and then golf came back a little bit. But then the
NASCAR came back. I remember
NASCAR and the
NFL. I was making NASCAR lineups. Like,
yeah,
it's like, yes, give it a shot.
It was a rough time to be a degenerate gambler. It was pretty brutal. We had it worse than everyone. I was convinced.
Rough time. That's crazy though, man. Time's going by so fast now. That was freaking 6 years ago. Coming up now.
6 years. It's crazy.
Damn, man.
It's gonna be 25 years of 9/11 soon.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I work with people that weren't born. That were born after 9/11. They weren't alive for it. It's crazy.
Insane. It's insane. Yeah. Well, I mean, my kids weren't alive for COVID. Think about it that way. And my son doesn't even know. If I told him COVID, he would be like, "What's that?" I mean, he's not 4 yet. Like eventually he'll know, but like I'm sure he'll ask like, "What was COVID like?" I'm like it was. I can't wait to tell him about it.
Yeah, it's like, how much time you got, son?
I know. Seriously.
Sorry, everyone. We're having a good time over here. Yeah, man. I don't know. Where were we? We were talking. Yeah.
He bet on Russian table tennis for literally no reason. Yeah.
I never did that. I never did that.
Forget the old people in the nursing homes that Cuomo killed. Like we had it worse than them. Just betting on League of Legends.
Yeah. I knew someone that did the ping pong, but I never got into the ping pong. That's
because we couldn't. That's because we couldn't make DraftKings lineups out of it. If you could do it, we would have done it.
Yeah, I think we probably would have.
I know, so bad.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
And the Korean baseball games it would lock at 5:30 a.m. And so I would be like up until like 5:25 a.m. putting in my lineups, just making sure that like the batting order was correct and all the players would play. Yeah.
I think I did a couple of those with you too. I definitely did some LOLs because I remember I was waking up early for that.
Yeah. No, I was up late, so
right.
It was pretty bad, and like I remember just like waking up in the morning and be like, oh, let me check my my LOL and South Korean baseball lineups. And then the stock market was crazy too. I don't know if you remember. It was like there'd be like the Dow would be down 2,000 points, and then it'd be up 100,000, and then down 2,000, up 1,000. Like it was, they had like circuit breakers all day. Like they would just shut it down. And that was before I knew how to buy puts and stuff. I can't believe like I just want to go back and be like, I just going to buy like, because I knew about COVID before. I feel like most people, like the average person, just because I watched the news so much. And like even like January, I was seeing like people in China like collapsing in the street. I'm like, oh man, something's coming. So every time I go to the grocery store, I'd pick up like 10 cans of food and like bottles of water, just because I thought that like the lines of production might be disrupted. So I knew about this already. So I'm thinking like if I knew how to buy puts and stuff, I would have bought like insane amounts of puts on the SPY and every significant like stock. I just didn't do it because I did sell everything I had at that point, just so I didn't lose everything. But like, wow. I feel like, man, it could have made a killing. I'm sure a lot of people did on the puts.
Wow. Yeah, they absolutely did. I just remember thinking like, remember the swine flu in 2009?
Yeah, barely.
Yeah, swine. I survived swine 09. You survived swine 09, right?
Yeah, everyone did. Yeah. We survived the rapture, you know.
Yeah. What were you doing during what was that? 2012, right? Yeah, December 2012. What were you doing at that time? It was like December 20. It was either right before Christmas or right after Christmas. What was the day?
No, I think I don't remember. I think my one of my friends from Penn State was getting married, and she invited me to the wedding, but I didn't go because it was in North Carolina, and
you thought the world was going to end anyway.
Right now. No, I thought it was insane. But no, I didn't go because I didn't have anyone to go with, and I didn't get a +1. So like, was just gonna go by myself and just know her. I didn't know anyone else. So and I texted her. I'm like, hey, how's it feel to get married on Rapture Day?
Yeah. I remember I was taking a nap because like that, when it was happening, they had like an exact time, or you were down to like some semblance of like when it would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm just gonna take a nap. I was off that day, and I was just like, either I'm gonna wake up or the world's gonna end, and I'm just never gonna wake up. So I was like, I'll just go out easy, man.
That's funny.
I don't want to witness it. I'm just gonna lay my head down, and then I woke up. So
what if a lot of people did disappear and we just don't know it because we were like programmed to not remember them,
Oh man, don't start with that. We could be here a while tonight.
It's actually The Leftovers. I don't know if you saw that. It's the show on HBO. It's phenomenal, man. You got to watch this phenomenal show on HBO. Like it basically, I forget the percentage of people, but I think like 10 or 20, whatever, 10% or 20% of the world's population just disappears, just like vanishes into the air. Like it's the movie, like the first episode starts, like the opening scene is a woman putting her kids in the car. Two young kids, she's buckling them in at the grocery store, and then she puts the bags in the trunk, and then she goes to go into the car, and she sees like her kids are gone, like completely gone, and then she starts like yelling and it turns out that like 10 to 20% of the Earth's population just vanished. And so you get like it's such a good show, man. I one of my favorite shows of all time.
It's called The Leftovers.
Yeah, The Leftovers. Yeah, it was on HBO. Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so good. I definitely recommend it.
Okay, maybe I'll give it a shot then.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh man, I've got some thoughts for you. I have maybe an upset here for us.
Okay, should we let me
go for it.
Read some questions before we get into it.
Yeah, go for it.
Jason saying Chipotle is not bland. Walt needs to actually go make a good order.
Yeah, Walt.
I don't know. Maybe my palate is just too
dull.
No, it's too exquisite. And Chipotle is bland because my Chipotle so bland because I'm such an exotic eater. That's not true.
Oh yeah, the finest tastes.
Exactly.
See,
Exactly.
I have a dull palate, man. I
Yeah, you're
I
telling me.
yeah, I have a very poor sense of taste and smell. But so that's how
Yeah.
I am.
Quacky, when an F-rated team defeats an A-rated team, the number one A-rated team, do they deserve to move up to Group D status? This is my burning question of the week. So Slew has asked this to Andy and then Evan, and now he's asking it to you.
Well, I mean, I think you would have to. I'd have to. Is there a specific example? I mean, I think they could at least flirt with
the Dolphins, Dolphins and Bills.
No, I don't think you can move. Well, I mean, the Dolphins case though, they have strung a couple wins together now.
Yeah, in between getting crushed by Baltimore too.
Right. But well, I mean, for them, I mean, they won a couple games. They beat Atlanta too recently.
Yeah, before that they got crushed by Cleveland 31.
I don't know. I hate this Dolphins team. I don't think they ever deserve to move out of F just for one win. So maybe it's more of a case by case basis.
Yeah. There's definitely some nuance to it. Start Darnold or Mayfield. So in my rankings, I have Darnold at 18 points, and I have Mayfield at 18 points. So it's a true toss up. I think I'd go with Darnold. I think there's more potential for him. Sorry. I'd go with Mayfield, and I think there's more potential for him because actually, you know what? I know I'm going to change my mind the third time. I'm going to go with Darnold. Buffalo has a run funnel defense, and so if Tampa moves the ball, it might be on the ground. Plus, I think there's going to be weather in that game. We don't know. No one can predict the weather, not even the best meteorologists. So I think I would go with Darnold. We know that there's no weather in that game because it's a dome. So I would go with Darnold. We have a few more questions before we can get into the picks. Here we go. Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is to die for.
Oh, not to die for, but I mean they're good. I'm not trying to hate on them. I mean I think it's good food, but
the friendly serve onion rings. I'd imagine so. I don't know. I never ordered them, so I would not know.
I think they did. Yeah.
I would order just classic cheeseburger and French fries. I'm a pretty simple man, despite what I said about my palate.
And the happy ending Sunday. That's what they had. Remember the happy ending Sundays? That's what they were called.
Is that really what they're called?
Yeah, they're called happy ending Sundays.
Yeah. Sure. Maybe that's what Deshaun Watson and was thinking of.
Robert Kraft.
Yeah. They'd eat at Friendlies. They're like, "Oh, I want a happy ending here. Do you have a happy ending Sunday?" And like the women misunderstood them. So that's
oh my god.
Do we think Vidal or Marks? Man, we know Vidal's going to get the ball. Like, we don't know if Marks is going to get the ball. Like, we think Marks might get the ball, but like last time when Marks had more carries, the next week he didn't do anything. So I think Vidal is the sure thing, but I don't think either is a bad play. So Herbert / Burrows. So we'll answer this one at a time. Wait, Burrow. Oh, he's talking about his team. Because Burrow's not playing. CMC, JT, QJ, Woody, Henderson, Monty,
David Montgomery.
Yeah, Monty, Brian Robinson Jr. yeah. Smithers, Puka,
That's pretty good, actually. That's well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Puka, Ted, Sutton, Higgins, Bowers, Warren. That is a heck of a team. That's really good. He's 8-2. Wow. Is there anyone I should target or sit tight? Well, you're gonna have Burrow back, so that's nice. Well, at least we think so. I'm not like thrilled with Tedero McMillan. He's all right. It seems like you need a receiver, I guess. So he's 2-2-2 flex receiver tight end. So I don't think you need like two tight ends, although they both been awesome. So if you could trade one of the tight ends for a receiver, I think that's what I would do. But otherwise, I think your team looks really good. And I was thinking of trading Monty, Woody, Franklin, and Sutton for Chase Brown and Odunze. Yeah, it seems like a good trade. I think you could do that, or maybe substitute one of them for the tight ends and do that. So yeah, I'm bored with that. All right. Okay. So Tom, you said to me not just now, but in the green room as well, that you have an upset that you've been cooking up here, and you've been awesome with these upsets. You've been on a roll. You called the Saints last week. You called who were some of the others? You had like quite a few upsets.
I've had the Saints. I've had the Saints a couple times.
Yeah.
I called the Browns against the Packers.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I know there are so many. I should just write them down. No, but Parrot and some of the other guys can vouch for me, I think. But yeah, I've got one this week. I'm interested to see. I don't know that I'll be able to convince you to put it on our circuit card, but I think I'm going to put it on my individual card on my bookie.
Okay.
I like the Titans actually, and I have them locked in on my card at +7.
Oh boy,
they're 6.5. Yeah, I'm. Look, this is really based on feel. I like the Texans last week, and yeah, their defense has been very solid. It's maybe the only good thing about that team for most of the year. But I don't know. They also did just give up 29 points to freaking Jacksonville. I just think -6.5. We're going to lay -6.5 with Davis Mills. I don't know. I mean, it was a miracle that they even won that game. I mean, we got, for all the bad breaks that we've caught, like Houston coming through, like that was we got one back. That was insane. They were down by 19 in the fourth quarter with like no sign of life. I know the Titans are horrible. And the first time that these two teams met, it was actually pretty close. For as poorly as Tennessee played, they missed 2 field goals. They could have had the lead early on a couple times. It was only 6-0 going into the fourth quarter. I think they ended up losing 26-0.
Yeah,
but I don't know. And also, I mean, the Texans, they have the Bills next week. I don't know how much they're. I mean, they kind of need to. They can't really lose too many games from here on out, especially given where the Colts are right now in that division. So I don't know. Could they maybe look past this? Maybe not, because it's a division game. But I don't know. This really feels like a Titan spot. I know they've been terrible, and I don't have much like. As far as X's and O's, like that much to back it up, but like I just can't get excited about like the Davis Mills offense. Like it's just, I think this is a close game. I think this is going to be like a 23-20 type of game. I like the Titans here. I don't. What do you think this line would be if Stroud were in?
Probably 8.5.
Yeah, so I was going to say something like that. I don't know, man. And this Titans team, look, as horrible as they've been, they've actually like kind of hung around in some games, especially early on in the season. Probably not so much lately, but I don't know. I really like this spot for them. This is mostly going on feel. This really feels like a Titan spot here. So I just want to see what you think.
I initially agreed with you, and it looks like the Sharps agree with you too, because this line is dropping a lot. It's fallen to 5.5 in a lot of these books. So I think you're on the sharp side here. And like I said, I was initially on board with you, but just from a spot perspective, because this is very similar to Buffalo last week. Buffalo was coming off a big win. They just beat the Chiefs. The Texans just won in a comeback against the Jaguars, divisional rival. Next week, the Bills had a tougher opponent than what they were facing. The Texans have a tougher opponent than what they're facing. The Bills, not just the Bills, but Bills on Thursday night. And they're also the Bills are also playing a team they are already beaten earlier in the year, and so are the Texans. So it's the same spot, but I think there's one difference. Well, actually, there's 2 differences. One is that the backup quarterback is playing for Houston, and I think that would mean that the Texans players may not take this game for granted just because they know Davis Mills isn't there. I think it'd be different if CJ Stroud were playing. They'd be like, oh, we're going to be okay with CJ Stroud. CJ's going to lead us to victory. Here with Davis Mills, even though he won last week, I think they might be like, oh, we gotta play hard here because CJ's out. That's the one thing. And the other thing, you said Tennessee's horrible. Like Tennessee is the only team in the NFL that doesn't do anything well. Like they don't even do anything on a mediocre level.
I know.
Yeah, and if Kevin Kovac were here, I don't know if he is here, but he yesterday he wanted to run through what they can't do even on a mediocre level. So let's get through it. The Titans can't throw the ball. The Titans can't block. The Titans can't run. The Titans can't get to the quarterback. The Titans can't stop the run. The Titans can't stop the pass. The Titans don't have a head coach. The Titans don't have an offensive line coach. The Titans don't have their best defensive player. The Titans don't have their best defensive back, and they may not have their best receiver. So Calvin Ridley might come back this week. That's like the only positive, but he hasn't even played well this year. So this is like beyond abysmal. Like every other team in the NFL can do some stuff at least on an average level. You know, even like the Jets. Like the Jets have Breece Hall. He can make some big plays, especially as a receiver out of the backfield. When healthy, Garrett Wilson's there, and they have a good edge rush. The Saints have Alvin Kamara out of the backfield, the same as Breece Hall. They have Chris Olave, a really talented receiver, and the run defense is not bad. Who else? Like the Redskins. You know, they have when McLaurin's healthy, they have McLaurin plus Debo is pretty good. Ertz is solid. So they have some receiving weapons. You know, obviously when Jane Daniels is healthy, that's that. But like, you know, the Redskins are in rough shape right now too because of Daniels is out. But still, they can at least have some good receiving threats when McLaurin is there. The Titans don't have anything. They can't hang their hat on anything. Now, when Jeffrey Simmons comes back, maybe that, but like he's probably going to be out again. And even if he comes back, he didn't practice fully at all week. So I just have a severe issue backing the Titans. The Titans are 5-24 against the spread since week 1 last year. 5-24. If you back them, you're standing in front of that train. The only 2 shore covers they had this year, and I'm not necessarily counting week 1 because like you could have had the others. You could have had Tennessee plus 7.5, you know, and they lost by 8. So the only 2 shore covers they had this year was that Arizona nonsense game with all the crazy breaks went them, including the drop touchdown nonsense. And then the other cover was when they had a kick return and they had Justin Herbert throwing a pick 6 randomly, and Joe Alt got injured in that game. And despite all that, despite everything going their way, including special teams touchdown, pick 6 touchdown, they still needed a backdoor field goal to cover. This team is beyond awful. And so I don't want them. I don't want them on the card. I know. It's a horrible spot for Houston. I don't want them at all. I don't want to even like consider them. It's Houston or nothing for me. And really, it might be nothing. You know, if Jeffrey Simmons is out again, he's a true question mark this week. If he's out again, then and if Calvin Ridley's out again, then I think I might be betting Houston for a small amount. But I don't want anything to do with Tennessee. They are a true money pit. I
don't disagree with any of what you said. I certainly agree with all that. I just think this Texans team couldn't score when they had Stroud in there. And look at this last game up until that fourth quarter. Like, I don't know. I just feel like the short-term memory is that incredible fourth quarter. They looked about as sharp as the Titans in the first 3 quarters of that game against Jacksonville last week, if you ask me. I mean, I don't know. They can't score as it is. And 6.5 on the road, Davis Mills. It just doesn't seem right. I see some people asking, how will they score? I mean, I don't know. DK. Yeah. We like DK.
Yeah. That's okay. That's one thing they might do well is punt returns. So yeah, they're going to need a punt return and probably a backdoor cover.
It's a good question to pose. I'm not sure I know the answer. I'm just saying. I'm hesitant to do it either, but something just tells me it just doesn't seem right.
The real problem with Tennessee's offense in this game is Cam Ward holds the ball for so long. He's taken the most sacks in the NFL. And who's across from him? You have the Houston pass rushers. Like there's a reason they scored 0 points. Now I know they missed 2 field goals, but even if they scored 6, they wouldn't have come close to covering anyway. So I don't know. I don't think they score above 10. I think the way to go here is Titans team total under. And if Houston doesn't score much, then at least you can win that. If Houston wins 13-10, then at least you win with the team total under. Of course, we had the Jets team total on there last week, and they had 2 kicker returns, so that was pretty brutal.
You're saying Tennessee is 5-24,
5-24 against the spreads since week 1 last year.
Well, this week, history is about to change.
Right.
Yeah. Oh man.
The coach from Texans doesn't seem like he knows he's doing. Yeah, I'm not a big Ryans fan. He could coach defense, but I don't think he's a good head coach. Take the Titans. Look, to me, Tom has called some great upsets here. So if you want to follow that, I can't blame you because he had a lot of success. But I think it's the Titans, man. That's like the ultimate, upset. I think. I don't know.
I know. I'm hesitant too because I don't have a lot of logic to back it up because I agree with all like they are awful because I thought that they had maybe a shot to beat the Texans the first time these two teams met, and through three quarters it looked like I might have had a shot there. They're only down 6-0, and then it was just that fourth quarter. I think the Texans scored 20.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I remember watching that whole game, and it's like I knew that the Titans didn't have a prayer, despite only being down 6-0. They just, like you said, they can't do anything. But I don't know. This spot seems weird. It seems weird to me. I locked them in on my bookie card at +7. So did you say it's moved to 5.5 at some?
Yeah, on the screen here, it's moved to 5.5 at DraftKings, Caesars, FanDuel, Hard Rock, Fanatics, Scam Addicts, if you want to call them that. I'm not sure. What is this? I'm not sure. Vegas Insider. But yeah, it's still some 6s out there. BetMGM, mostly Bet Rivers, and Bet 365. So you have your pick right now, whether you want 6 or 5.5. But
I've got it at 7.
Yeah,
so I've got a couple key numbers there, but then again, this is like the worst team I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you really want to bet on the worst team you've ever seen? Like, this is pure spot. Like, usually, I mean, like last week, you don't always have matchup plus spot. Like that's, I would love to find 5 games like that every week, and I guarantee we go at least 4-1 every time. But this is like matchup is all Houston. Spot is probably lean Tennessee, just because the Mills factor. Whereas like the teams usually play hard. Good teams usually play harder for the backup quarterbacks, and backup quarterbacks usually do well against bad defenses. So and also if you talk about that the week 4 matchup between these teams, Jeffrey Simmons, I believe, played in that game. So not having him just makes Tennessee's defense a lot worse. And also Houston was, like you said, they were way down last week. They had 2 special teams gaffes that gave Jacksonville a couple of scores there. So it wasn't as bad as that result seems. It's not like Trevor Lawrence played well against them. Like Trevor Lawrence is pretty pedestrian.
Yeah, I have a hunch, bet a bunch. Yeah, not highly recommended, but it could work out. Yeah, I don't know. I really like the spot here. That's Davis Mills to win by 7 on the road. I don't know. That's what's really, I don't know. Like I feel like this is a bit of an overreaction from the last game. Like, and now they're playing a really bad team. They should win easily. I don't know. I don't know that this is going to be. I think this could be a close game, but I don't know. I might keep that +7 on my own individual card. I'll let you know if I do.
Okay. Sounds good. It's a pretty unique contest, the MyBookie contest, where you can lock in a line, but then if you change it, you lose the lock in. So pretty cool strategy there that you can just watch the spreads all week and lock in different lines at some point. So it's interesting.
It's definitely beneficial to pay attention to that. It's a unique angle for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, I'm going to go here, and I have 3 top plays this week, and there's one game where I changed my opinion on like pretty drastically, not the side but the unit count. And I've just been thinking about this game all week, or sorry, all day today. But I want to save it, as the third game I bring up, just in case you bring it up. Because I think there's a good chance you might bring it up. So I'm going to start with Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. This line is 5.5. I think this is a really good matchup for Cincinnati. Now, Andy and I disagreed on this one. Evan and I completely agreed. So I'm curious to hear where you fall in on it. But I think this is just a phenomenal matchup for Cincinnati because Pittsburgh's secondary is just in shambles. They had all these injuries at safety, so they moved Jalen Ramsey there, and then they lost their cornerbacks in that last game. And so like Ramsey's like, where do I play? Like, he just like doesn't know where to go. With all those injuries in the secondary against Cincinnati's receivers, just seems like such a big mismatch. And then also Alex Highsmith's going to be out. So not only do the Steelers have injuries in the secondary, they also have a big gap or a big void at edge rusher across from TJ Watt. So, Cincinnati's known as a team that doesn't protect very well, but without Highsmith, they're going to have a chance to protect Joe Flacco better. And then you have Pittsburgh's offense, which is just Aaron Rodgers releasing the ball quickly. I know Cincinnati's defense is awful, but like how can they be abused that much with Rodgers just dinking and dunking most of the time? Because he doesn't trust his offensive line either. And at 41, he doesn't want to get hit. So like the Steelers, are they really going to cover 5.5 with the Cincinnati with all this offensive explosion? And even if they're ahead, like Cincinnati is just a prime candidate to get a backdoor here. Like we saw against the Packers, like they were playing against a defense much better than Pittsburgh's, and they were scoring at will in the second half of that game. And so if they could do that at Green Bay, why can't they do that at Pittsburgh? Plus they've had a week off too. So what are your thoughts on this one? Because I like Cincinnati quite a bit.
I like him too, but I'm worried. Don't you think that they're too easy? This line looks like it's begging for you to take him is the only thing. I think the Steelers team, on a different level, how we would used to say, like with Bryce Young, like when he first started out and he was having several bad games. Well, maybe he'll bounce back. And like, we'll bounce back to what?
That's what the way.
At least with Aaron Rodgers, it's like, oh, like bounce back to his old self. Yeah, okay. As a lifelong Packers fan too, I mean, at this point, like he's from what I've seen, just this last year with the Jets, and this year so far with the Steelers, it's like. He's not gonna bounce back to that. It's not gonna happen. He's Aaron Rodgers is living off reputation at this point. This offense is terrible. This offense is absolutely terrible. And it's like, yeah, they have Metcalf and Rod, like they're just like on paper it sounds good, but it's like, God, that Chargers game, that was absolutely pathetic.
It was.
That was a pathetic display. Their defense, it's like sometimes they show up, but most times they haven't. They've already lost once to the Bengals. I mean, I know the Bengals defense is awful, but I mean, plus 5.5 seems so easy to me. I like the Bengals, but I'm afraid that it's like a trap of some sort. It seems like Vegas really wants to induce betting on Cincinnati here.
What percentage of bets do you think are on Cincinnati?
Like 70%.
It's a 65. It's not that bad. Yeah. I don't think it's anything. I don't think it's anything to be worried about. Also, the public has been slaughtered this year, just absolutely slaughtered. Like, I brought it up last time, like how bad the public has been, and they were like about 500 last week, so it didn't really change. The public is let me see right here. They are 15-29 this year. The public in games that are 70% or more on bets for one side. So feels like the books have won their money, and like they need, like, especially in this economy, they need the public to get some wins here. Otherwise they won't have any money to bet the big games in the playoffs.
True. Yeah, maybe eventually they're gonna start giving it back here. So maybe we should take the Bengals. I just think, look, but Cincinnati's defense is terrible, but hey, they gave up a lot of points the first time these two teams played, but they did have make some plays too, and they had at least one or two takeaways, I think, in that game. I just think if like this comes down to a shootout, like Cincinnati's definitely going to win. I think Pittsburgh just can't score. They can't do anything. Like it just, you ever like see a team and like that Chargers game? It's like I just knew that this was never going to improve the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just looked absolutely hapless.
Yeah,
hapless and hopeless. So
they had no hope at all.
Yeah, and it's just we're like, oh well, like we Rogers will bounce back. Like I don't know. I don't think it's gonna happen. Like maybe he'll be okay, but no, it's
That's
not
my
gonna.
favorite quote. My favorite quote from Eitan Shander. Bounce back to what?
Yeah,
There's nothing to bounce back to.
I don't know. I don't see them putting up a whole lot of points. No matter how bad Cincinnati's defense is, from what I've seen the last recently from them.
Yeah, I was hoping Trey Hendrickson would play, but he's been ruled out. So that is a bummer. But I still like Cincinnati here. Andy says he's looking over here. Andy, welcome to this video. Glad you're able to join us. Yeah, glad you're able to join us. Is there anything different from Cincy beating the Steelers earlier this year when they outgained the Steelers 470 to 396? Did Hendrickson play in that game? That's my only question. I don't know the answer to that. I do have the database here, so I can look that up. Although I need to know.
I can't remember. I want to say yes, but
it was week 7. And Hendrickson played in that game, but then the next week he was questionable. So I wonder if he got hurt in that game. I can't remember though. It was the Thursday game, so it's all hazy,
Mm-hmm. I can't remember.
Yeah, look at the defense have faced the season. None is as close to the Bengals defense. Yeah, I mean they faced them before, right? They faced them already. So and Cincinnati won the game. It's like Pittsburgh didn't score enough to beat them. I know that it was in Cincinnati, but home field's not worth that much these days. So it's certainly not worth 5.5 points. I think these teams are close to even. I think if you look at what's the bigger mismatch here? Is it Pittsburgh's offense versus Cincinnati's defense, or is it Cincinnati's offense versus Pittsburgh's defense? I don't think it's even close.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it really seems. I just really think Cincinnati seems a little too easy here. I think it's going to be a field goal game at most, maybe.
Well, it's not 80-20, 65-35.
Yeah.
I don't think your betting trends here are any concern, in my opinion.
Okay.
But I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in the next 2 days, everyone's going to bet Cincinnati. But I mean, Cincinnati's still like a team. They're not a public team, by any means. So I don't know why people would suddenly pounce on them.
Yeah, man, and Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh is blacklisted after for us anyhow. After that Chargers game, and then I really loved the Steelers against Green Bay a few weeks ago. I was shocked I got that wrong, and I was not happy. So it's definitely Bengals or nothing for me. Or do you like them enough to put them on the card?
They will be on my card. So how much do you like them?
We'll put them on the maybe for now.
Okay, maybe list. So we have our first pick here. All right, so you're up. Where do you want to go?
All right, let's look at this Vikings-Bears game.
Okay.
Is this a freaking joke? Is this a joke? Let's take the Vikings, man.
Okay, tell me more.
Yeah, I mean, come on, this Bears team is not do you think the public likes the Bears here? Why is this line where it is? I think Minnesota is going to win pretty easily here, actually. Yeah, the thing about McCarthy too is he makes mistakes, but at least he pushes the ball downfield. The Bears are a fraction of what their record indicates. I think the Vikings are going to win easily here at home.
Yeah, I agree. So I think there's a big mismatch here as well, and it's Chicago's secondary versus Minnesota's receivers. Chicago's down their top 2 corners. Now, there's a chance Jalen Johnson plays. He's been on IR. He practiced on a limited basis on Friday, but that's it. But he may play. But usually, when someone is on IR, they don't practice fully. They usually don't play. And so, given that he didn't practice fully all week, I question if he's going to be 100%. So not only are Chicago's 2 top corners out, it looks like they're going to be missing the top defensive back in general, Jaquan Brisker, safety. So he's going to be out, and TJ Edwards is going to be out. They're a great linebacker. If you look at the games where TJ Edwards missed, versus where he played. The two most recent games where Edwards missed was against the Giants, where Jackson Dart and Tyron Tracy ran all over them. And before that was the Raiders game where Ashton Genty had his best game of his season. When Edwards has been in, Chicago's run defense has been much better. So Minnesota, without Edwards on the field, is going to be able to run the ball very well. And like I said, without those three talented defensive backs in the game, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, they should have a field day here. Plus, you have Chicago being extremely overrated. They could have easily lost, like they should have lost the Giants. If Jackson Dart doesn't get hurt, they probably lose to the Giants.
It should be 3-7.
Yeah, 3-6. So yeah, they lose. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Raiders because of missed field goals and Geno Smith turnovers. And I know the Bears have gotten a lot of turnovers. That's very fluky. And then the Washington game, if they don't botch the handoff, the Redskins win that game. So the Bears, I'll give Ben Johnson credit. His running game is really good. By the way, Minnesota better against the run recently. So yeah, I'm on board with you. I don't understand why this line's so low. I mean, well, I do understand it's because Chicago's 6-3. But I think Minnesota's better than Chicago. We saw it week 1. Minnesota beat Chicago. And that was, that was in Chicago. So yeah, I like Minnesota here.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem too easy or anything to you. I know I always ask this, but because I gotta check myself here.
It's like 63% of Chicago.
Okay. This seems like a really good spot for the Vikings. Geez, -2, and what a number too. I think 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to put them on, I'll put them on there. I like this spot for them.
Yeah. So, is it definite or maybe? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I'll put them. I mean, do you feel strong enough about it too, or?
Yeah, they're one of the top picks I mentioned. So,
so you did say that.
If Van Ginkel's playing, I'll let him bang the Vikings. Yeah, he's not on the injury report. Jonathan Grenard is that's like the one downside for Minnesota here is Grenard, one of their best edge rushers. He's out. But they still have their other guys, so I'm not too concerned about it. Vikings allowed over 200 rushing yards to the Chargers. Yeah, they didn't have Van Ginkel, and they didn't have. I don't think they had Blake Cashman in that game either. They've been so much better since Van Ginkel returned and Cashman returned because they were missing those guys and two of their best defensive players. Cashman great against run, Van Ginkel great at everything. He's so good. So Minnesota was not at full strength like they are now, except for Grenard. Where Chicago is a much worse shape with the injuries. So yeah, we can add Minnesota as a definite.
All right.
So Minnesota minus 2.5. Okay, I am up here. And so to be fair, this was the second game I was going to mention. I'll hold off on that third game in a second. I want to talk about Ravens or Browns. So the Ravens are if you look at their season-long stats, they are pretty awful because they were missing so many players for so long. Now, if you look at how they performed week 8 onward, I think that it's much different. Their defense is 7th, their offense is 9th. And anytime you have a backup quarterback against a top 10 defense, you have to look that way. You have to look toward the defense because it's such a big mismatch. Given how important quarterback is, if your quarterback can't throw or do anything, you're going to have a really tough time winning the game or just covering the spread. So Dylan Gabriel was bad against the Jets. And we know how bad the Jets defense is. Baltimore's defense with now healthy is going to be so much better. So I really don't see the Browns doing anything offensively in this game. It's gonna be so bad. And then the Ravens with Lamar Jackson, they're 7th in offense, 9th in offense. And so while Cleveland does present a tough matchup defensively, Baltimore scored 41 against them in week 2. And I think that a lot, sure, a lot of that was Baltimore creating turnovers and getting short fields. But who's to say that won't happen again? I feel like that will happen again. So I like Baltimore here. I just think this is just such a big mismatch, and we know Baltimore they're not in a position to take this game lightly. They're 4-5. They know if they win this game, they're back to 500. I think that's a big deal for them. And if Pittsburgh loses, they know they can tie Pittsburgh. So not that we're going to know that when we submit our card, but still, it's a likely possibility. But even if that doesn't happen, they're going to be in position to go to 500, which, like I said, I think that's a big deal for them. So, what's your thoughts on this one?
I'm all in on the Ravens with you here. I think at this point, they were as bad as 1-5 or 1-4.
They were 1-5.
1-5. Yeah, they know that they kind of need to more or less run the table here, and I think we need to catch them mid run, but we don't want to buy when it's when their stock is even higher, as we think it's going to go up here. I think they're going to win in a romp. I agree. The Browns offense. I do. We've read the Browns pretty well. I feel like. For the most part, outside of last week, but the special teams scores really didn't help us there. But I think the Ravens are probably going to run a clinic here. Like do you see the Browns scoring more than 10 or 13?
No, not unless there's like crazy special teams or fumble return for touchdown, like something very weird.
Yeah, I mean, if the Ravens put up like even 20, I think they'll probably cover like 23 or 24 certainly.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'm good to put them on there if you want. I think the Ravens are going to go on a nice little run here.
Yeah, I think there's a chance they can run the table even. Like,
absolutely.
Get to 12-5. Then I think that put like Lamar Jackson like squarely in MVP consideration, maybe the favorite. Just like when he's not on the field, they just suck. But when he's on the field, they win 8 in a row. Or it would be 11. It would be 11 in a row.
You don't want Jonathan? No, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Vikings allowed over 200 rushing yards to the. That was they just allowed 152 to the Ravens. Well, I'm looking at the stats, and Derrick Henry went 20 for 75. So that's what I really care about. Like Lamar Jackson ran for 36. There's no Lamar Jackson on Cleveland. And then Keaton Mitchell had a 22-yard gain late in the game when the Vikings gave up. So I don't. I think the Vikings run defense looks a lot better now. I think some of those runs were like circumstantial for Baltimore. Ravens might be favored and all, but their Week 17 game at Green Bay. Yeah, I think so. What were you saying? Sorry, I was interrupted you.
Oh no, I don't think I can't remember now. So it's all good. It'll come back to me.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, you're up. Right now with your next pick.
Well, speaking of Europe, let's talk about the international game. Your favorite.
Oh my god!
How'd you like that segue? Hey, how about? Come on, is this a joke?
Stop.
The Dolphins are favored. The Dolphins are favored.
I know.
You want to take the commanding hockey team?
No. I don't want to care about this game. I don't want this game.
But how are we need to start at least picking them if we're going to have the eyes on the ground next season.
I mean, look, if you're doing this pro bono, sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
I can't afford to pay you.
Oh no, it'll catch on big time, and I'll be out there handing out Walter football gear.
That would be pretty cool. I don't know how many of those people would be interested in the site, but I do think that they advertising they pay less than American and Canadian viewers, so there's that as well. I will say though that like ever since the NFL went to London, they initially started London games. My international viewership went up. It used to be like 2%, and then it went to like 10%. Or I think it's 9. I think it's actually 9%. The non-US, non-Canadian viewership. So on the site. So it has had an impact for sure. But I just hate that these games are not on 9:30. Like it's just like for people on the West Coast, 6:30 a.m. Like it's ridiculous that they have to wake up. Andy here, like he has to wake up 6:15 to make sure he's looking at the injury report and stuff like that and submitting his bad. Like it's ridiculous. So
Andy, do you have any? Oh, I'm sorry, Walter. I didn't mean to.
No. I was done talking.
Yeah, Andy, do you have any special traditions for those early morning games? Like, do you have like special tailgate breakfasts or something? That I mean, I'm sure people have them out there, like in Vegas and whatnot. But I wonder, Washington's, yeah, Dolphins. Yeah, I mean, they are, but geez, Dolphins as a favorite.
Yeah.
Would you rank them? How far ahead do you have them ranked over, like, let's say the Raiders? I'm not. I don't mean to do Team A beat Team B. So, but I mean the Commanders, even with Mariota in there, they beat the Raiders. Like, do you think the Dolphins are how
Um,
comparable? I don't know.
I have them like they're so close together. I think I have Raiders 27, Dolphins 28, Redskins 30. They're all this. They're all the same garbage.
Jeez. Yeah. I mean, I don't love it. I would take the commanding hockey team, but it's them or nothing. There's no way I could ever back the Dolphins as a favorite. I'm kind of surprised there, and I feel like this is probably an overreaction just to the Bills win too. I can't. I'm surprised that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they're, well, maybe I'm not surprised they're favorite after the win, but I think it's maybe a little bit of an overreaction too. So I'd be into Washington there.
Yeah.
Although that assumes that you sleep at all on Saturday night. Okay, and yeah, no, I'd probably do the same thing if I were living out there. That's true.
Yeah.
So
Evan was trying to talk me into Miami yesterday. You're trying to talk me into Washington today. I'm not gonna have any of it. I don't want to care. Look, I don't want to care about these games. I just don't.
I
like,
got you. Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen if you like convince me we're gonna put Washington on the card, and then I'm gonna be asleep. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna see a text from you, and you're gonna say, "I can't believe we put a European game on the card." You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, unless you like really liked it for some reason. I mean, I know you don't like these international games as it is, nor do I. I try to stay away from them. Like, maybe I'll make one DraftKings lineup, but that's it.
Yeah, I'll do a DraftKings lineup just because I have to for the site, but otherwise I won't care about this game. I probably won't even check the DraftKings lineup unless like I look at the box score. I'm like, oh, my guys are doing well. I'm not gonna care about this outside of live betting in the second half, like we've done. But no, I told Evan the same thing today. He told me that he was gonna put the Dolphins on his card for the Super Contest. I'm like, Evan, you're gonna text me saying that I can't believe I put the international game on the card. So I'll say this though, like Miami has an unbelievable matchup in this game because Devon Achane's one of the fastest players in the NFL. Washington has the slowest linebackers in the NFL. So, like, good luck trying to defend him. But then again, Tua could just throw this game away with stupidity. Yes, he's played better in 2 of the last 3 games, but in 2 of the last 4 games, he's been awful. He got benched against Cleveland, and he really should have gotten benched against Baltimore. So, it's like this team sucks. Like both these teams suck, and we don't know how they're going to perform overseas. Like, what if one of these teams just sucks at jet lag? Like we saw. Remember, Matt LaFleur? He was late to meetings because he couldn't adjust to the London time. Like, what if one of these teams has the same issue and we don't know? Like, there's just like unknown factors here. So, who has the better defense in Washington, Miami? They're both really bad defenses. EPA wise, Washington is 31st, and Miami is.
Seems like Washington lately, at least.
Yeah. Where's Miami? I can't find them. Miami's 26th. So Miami's 26th. Washington's 31st. So Miami by 5 spots. But they're both awful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take these international games either, but I wanted to see if for some reason, like maybe you were interested in the Commandos, if maybe we could generate something. But the other thing about taking the early games too, it's like, man, if you start out 0-1, it's like before like the slate even really starts, like it sucks. I mean, on the flip side, if you start at 1-0, it's that much better though. But I'd rather just stay away. But I wanted to see if maybe if you liked one side a little bit, I'd try to convince you. But
yeah, Parrot's saying, I did you see the way Miami celebrated in the locker room? I can't imagine them coming up flat here. They not coming up flat. Yeah. It's a Washington spot for sure because they got blown out and Miami won. And like anytime you have a horrible team winning, like you should look to fade them if everything else looks good. So I would prefer to take the team coming off a loss in this matchup, which is Washington. But like I said, that matchup that they have with Achane and Washington's defense is just so bad. So like I don't know. The matchup says Miami, spot says Washington, and the fact that it's in Spain says don't bet this game. So that's where we are with this, Anyway, I don't know. Well, if we were struggling to come up with 5 games, maybe we can come back to this. But
I don't think we will. But.
Okay. So speaking of the Dolphins win over the Bills, we have the Bills hosting the Buccaneers. The Bills are -5.5 against Tampa, and the Bills had a lot, like on top of that bad spot last week, against the Dolphins. We talked about went off the Chiefs, coming up against a tougher opponent and having beaten that team earlier in the year. Like, it was just a rough spot. But in addition to that, they also had a lot of injuries. They're down to 2 top corners, Christian Benford, Taron Johnson. They're both out. They're missing one of their linebackers, Shaq Thompson, and their other linebacker, Matt Milano, is not healthy. They're missing one of the defensive tackles. They're missing one of the defensive ends. So their defense just missing half their starters. But they're going to be healthy here. Now, Ed Oliver's still going to be out, but they're getting Epinesa back from injury. Christian Benford's going to play. Taron Johnson's questionable, but he was limited all week, so he didn't miss a practice. Shaq Thompson's going to be back. So Buffalo's defense much healthier this week than it was last week. So and especially coming off that loss, like such an embarrassing loss, I think we're going to see Buffalo's best effort here, or at least I think so. Josh Allen, awful loss, 15-10 against the spread in his career. So, usually when you have these elite quarterbacks, they tend to bounce back off losses, and they cover more often, more so than they don't. And then Tampa, whenever they played up in competition against Group A teams, they've just fell flat on their face. Like Tampa Bay hosting the Eagles in Week 4 this year, the Eagles are up by like 20-something before garbage time. When they played the Lions, they lost by 15. Last year, when they played the Ravens on Monday night, they got destroyed. Every time they tried to beat one of these Group A teams, they've not come even close. So I don't know. And plus, like, Buffalo's weakness is the run defense. I don't think Tampa runs well enough to take advantage of that. So I think Buffalo looks pretty good here. What do you think about this game?
I really like Buffalo as well. And I'm not trying to sit here and hate on Tampa, because I really love Baker Mayfield. I really like their team. But geez, they just seem, they've been battling with injuries for a while, and they just seem worn down and uninspired, maybe as a result of those injuries. But we look at the beginning of the season, what this team did. As much as I do like them, they are overrated. I mean, they barely squeaked out wins against the Falcons, Texans, and Jets. That's the Falcons, Texans, and Jets, and we've seen how bad all 3 of those teams have looked this season. Mm-hmm. And Tampa was like stealing these games away. Now, they did beat Seattle. That's really their only impressive, their only impressive win in my eyes this season. Really, they haven't really beaten anybody otherwise, and a lot of those games were close. And this game last week against the Patriots was not nearly as close as the score indicated. I love the number at 5.5. I think the Bills at home could potentially run away with this one. So I'm good to put them on the card if you want to.
All right, let's go. Buffalo -5.5 on our card. So we have 3 definites right now with the Vikings, Ravens, and Bills, and 1 maybe with the Bengals. So,
oh wow, three favorites so far. Okay,
let's go. 3 favorites. Well, favorites cover more than underdogs these days. I would rather have 3 favorites than 3 underdogs.
Right? Yeah, I usually would go 3 underdogs, but now this season I've kind of leaned that way to 3 favorites. We've been playing a lot more favorites this year.
We have, and
it seems like it anyhow.
Like, favorites I think they're covering at 53% this year. Last year they were even better. Last year they were they were 53% as well last year. So the favorites have been much better than underdogs. And I've talked about this on the show a couple times this week, and I think it's because I don't think the sportsbooks have priced them correctly, just because the bad teams don't get to practice as much in this new CBA. And so if you're a bad team, you need the practice to get better, and they're just not practicing. So naturally, they're just not being as good as the bad teams aren't. I feel like the bad teams are worse than they were before. You know what I mean? So I think people, the books haven't adjusted to it.
The bad teams are worse than they were before. That's a good way to put it. To put it.
Look, we used to routinely see crazy upsets all the time. Like, I remember the Jaguars were playing the Colts with Peyton Manning. The Jaguars are 1-7. Peyton Manning and the Colts are 7-1. Jaguars beat them Like these upsets don't happen anymore. I mean, yeah, sure. Sometimes like the Packers will lose to the Panthers, but like we're not talking about like a Group F team. Like
Right.
when does a Group F team upset anyone? I guess Dolphins just beat the Bills, but the Bills are in no show. I don't know, but I'm just saying like it still happens, but it happens much less often than it did before.
I agree. It used to be. What did you guys used to say? There was like 3 times a year or something that teams will play down to an opponent or play up to one. Do you remember what I'm talking about? Or
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the exact quote. It's like 3 times per year a team will play much better than they usually are, and 3 times they'll play much worse than they usually are. On average. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I love the spot there for Buffalo too, coming off the loss, especially. Yeah, I like the Bucks, but they just seem so like worn down. They looked worn down to me. Somehow that's the best way I can put it. So yeah, I would maybe consider Bills -9 for the Walt line.
The Walt line, love it. Yeah, I think you can go up to -13.5. I think you can certainly do that.
Yeah.
There's one. We did Detroit -20.5. There's one game this week I would consider at -20.5. Luke Burrow saying Breaker not playing 100% recently. Yeah. Speaking of not being 100%, I don't think Vita Vea is 100%. I think he's banged up, and he's been on the injury report every week. He plays. Like he's tough. He's gonna play, but he keeps getting listed with a back injury, and like the Bucks are 17th against the run. Like with Vita Vea, they never are bad against the run, but they've been pretty mediocre these past 5 or 6 weeks or so against the run, and I think it's because Vea is just not healthy.
Yeah, where's the money going on this one? I'm interested to know.
Yeah, which James Cook is going to be big there. So the Tampa is a 63% public dog, so nothing like too significant, but yeah.
Oh wow, I'm surprised to hear that. Okay, well I like it even more then.
Okay, all right. I believe it's your turn to bring up a game.
Oh God, do we want to talk about the Packers?
Well, we have to at some point.
Yeah, I mean, we were, as you guys know, I'm a lifelong Packers fan. For those of you who may be new to the Friday show. This is my least favorite version of my team in like 30 years of watching. It's just they just don't have any like toughness or grit. Like I mean, and look at some of the pieces they have. I know they have injuries, Jaden Reed and Kraft, but I've always said this team is deep. Like, what was Watson doing last week? Like against he was like defending a pass he could have caught, and I don't know. Like I just feel like they should be so much better than they're playing. I mean. They're so freaking hard to predict. It's really annoying, and I just feel like they have no identity on offense. I shouldn't say no identity, but and not much of one. I don't know. They don't have that it factor. They're not winning anything this year. I'm telling, and I take no pleasure in saying this as a fan. They're hard to predict, but the Giants here. I mean, how could you back the Giants here? Unless you really think that Jameis, look, if there was a game for this hailed Packers defense, so to speak, this would be it against Jameis Winston starting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're probably looking at maybe take Packers defensive special teams touchdown. But that's the thing. He always makes it interesting. I always thought even in his days at Tampa Bay, like he had a much higher ceiling than. He ever got to. It's just the interceptions, but he does make it exciting.
He does.
I don't know. I'm inclined to take the Packers, but part here with all that said, because the Giants are just, especially after now they just fired Daboll and Dart's hurt, and it's just and Scatabo was hurt. It's just Neighbors was hurt, and everything just seems to be unraveling here. I just really don't see them in a spot to give a solid effort here. I think Green Bay really, really needs to rebound after 2 back-to-back really pathetic performances on offense. So I don't know. I am inclined to take Green Bay here, but I'm very scared because at this point, I just feel like I never know what version of them is going to show up. So how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is the game I wanted to bring up that I was hoping you would bring up. I came into this week thinking, okay, we're gonna make a big play against Russell Wilson because Russell Wilson sucks. And then it was announced James Winston would start, and then I'm like, I'm kind of off this game, like Winston is better than Wilson, but I. The more I thought about this game, like the more and more I like Green Bay, and I thought about this game a lot, and I came to realize that this game is like Detroit Washington last week because it like Detroit Washington was so appealing because it was the perfect marriage between matchup and spot. Whereas like Detroit, much better than Washington, both sides of the ball, and they were in a spot because they're a revenge game, plus coming off the loss. Detroit, one of the most vengeful teams in the NFL. This is also matchup and spot, both on Green Bay because spot wise, like you said, they lost 2 games in a row. They're now 5-3-1. They lose again. Like they're going to start being way behind the other teams in the division. And so yeah, they kind of have to like stop the bleeding here and win a game. So like it's not like if they were coming off a win against the Eagles, it's not be a good spot. But they lost 2 in a row, and I think they'll be focused here. Like how could they not be focused? And then the matchup wise, like this, like forget about it. Like I know Green Bay has been a disappointment and for various reasons, but on both sides of the ball, the Giants have the second worst run defense in the NFL. And you said the Packers don't have an identity. I think the one thing you could say is that if they're in the red zone, you know where the ball is going. It's going to Josh Jacobs. Like Josh Jacobs has been a monster this year, and he has one of the best matchups possible for him. So I think Jacobs could have a monster game here against the Giants. And then on the other side of the ball, you have a Green Bay defense that has not really lived up to its potential, but still ranked 10th. And so, like I said before, anytime you have a top 10 defense against a backup quarterback, you can't really side with the backup quarterback. You have to come up with like a really good reason to do that. But siding against the quarterback is usually the way to go. And the Giants are in disarray for multiple reasons. First of all, they don't have any receivers except for Wan'Dale Robinson because Darius Slayton's out. And so we know that James Winston could dink and dunk potentially to Robinson, but like we know who he is. He wants to go downfield. But like who's he gonna throw to downfield? Jalen Hyatt, Isaiah Hodgins, like these are the guys he's gonna throw to downfield. Like forget about it. And then the second thing is their coaching staff. They're in flux because not only is Dable fired, like they did the mistake of promoting their offensive coordinator to head coach because usually the smart thing to do is put your like special teams coordinator as head coach because that way the offensive coordinator, the defensive coordinator can keep focus on their duties. But here they promoted Mike Kafka, their offensive coordinator, to head coach, so he's not going to be able to fully focus on the offense this week because he's going to be doing like head coaching duties, and so they're not going to have an offensive coordinator this week. So like, how are they going to score against this Green Bay number 10 defense? Like I don't really know, and it's worth noting. Like despite like Green Bay has had some shaky results this year, obviously they lose to the Browns. They allow Arizona to hang around. They allow Cincinnati to hang around. They lose to Carolina. As even though they should have won those games and covered this, like given their talent, like it's worth noting that all 4 of those opponents are better than the Giants. The Giants are without Jackson Dart, without Cam Scatabo, without Malik Neighbors, and they're going to be without Kayvon Thibodeau. This Giants team and no coach, they're a Group F team. This is an awful team. This is the easiest opponent Green Bay has had all year. And so if they can beat Pittsburgh by 10 on the road, surely they can beat the Giants by way more than that in New York. And I'm considering the minus 20.5 alt line here.
Let's put them on then.
Let's go.
How quickly I change my tune.
Changing a tune changer.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I like? Savion Williams. Usually you can get any good good odds for him anytime touchdown. He's the other receiver other than Golden they drafted. With Golden a little bit banged up now. Watson's been he's finally back now. Obviously, Reed and Kraft are gone. I don't know. Look, you can maybe capitalize on that. I think maybe they're going to start looking at Savion Williams a little bit more. But because I had a $10 bonus bet and I put it on him to anytime touchdown in the Steelers game. It was 10-1, and he did score.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Usually you can get him at a pretty good number. They mix him in. He gets like maybe 4 or 5 touches a game, but I don't know. With all the injuries that they have, maybe they'll mix them in.
Okay, yeah. I mean, why not? He did fumble against Carolina,
Yeah,
I
he
think,
did. He did.
but I don't know. I mean, it's just one mistake. So,
Mm-hmm.
what about the play great for a new head coach angle? It's usually like 50-50. It's nothing like I think if the Giants had promoted the special teams coordinator, maybe they'd have a better chance. But like, remember that their head coach is now the office coordinator is now their head coach, and so they don't have an offensive coordinator. So like that's a big issue to you too. So I don't think it necessarily works that way. Sometimes it does. Like if the team hates their head coach, then sometimes that works. But I don't know if they hated Brian Daboll, so. I don't think the other coaches like Daboll. I think Daboll and Kafka, believe I read that they had a bad relationship, but I don't know if he necessarily had a bad relationship with his team, So at least he did. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I don't know. How did it go all the way down to 4.5? It was just 7.5 yesterday. What? I think you're looking at the opening line, which I believe that must be wrong. So it's just 7 or 7.5 still. Can I interview you sometime? Sure. I guess email me or something. WP as in Paul, C as in cat 112 at gmail.com. Just email me and then maybe we can set something up. I agree, Walt, but I do think Daboll was a little incompetent. Why did it take so long to promote Jameis over Russ? I agree. I mean, look, I'm not saying Brian Daboll was a good coach. I'm saying that I don't know if his team hated him. You know what I mean? I think I said like if a team hates a coach and he's fired, they'll generally play harder. But I don't know if they hated Daboll. Giants have an edge with new head coach and QB. They could catch Pack off guard with new and unused play calls. But the problem is like they don't have any new play calls because the coordinator is not coordinating anymore. He's now the head coach. So I mean his duties have kind of dissipated. I mean like they're just he's not really focused on being an offensive coordinator anymore. So I don't know like where these new play calls are going to come from. If he had a full week to prepare as just an offensive coordinator, then I think that you could be right. But I don't know how much he's offensively game planning for this game. So it's a big issue. So
I remember the 11-12 season when undefeated Green Bay went into Kansas City, and Kansas City had just fired their coach. I can't remember who, but the great Romeo Crennel, I think, if I'm not mistaken, took over, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, that game. And they handed Green Bay their only loss of the regular season. That was the year they went 15-1.
Yeah,
the year after they won the Super Bowl.
I remember.
It was. I remember they did. I was like, they don't have a chance. They don't have a chance. And yep, Brent, interim head coach. So
yeah. So anyway, that was my pick. What's your next pick here?
All right, let's see. Where should we?
Well, we talked about all these. Let's hold on. What haven't we talked about? We've talked about Redskins, Dolphins, Packers, Giants, Bucks, Bills, Bengals, Steelers, Texans, Titans, Bears, Vikings. Okay, so we have Panthers, Falcons. That's 1. Chargers, Jaguars is 2. Seahawks, Rams. We have the NFC West round robin. So that's 4. Chiefs, Broncos 5. Lions, Eagles 6, and then Cowboys, Raiders 7. So we have 7 games left. Any thoughts to what we should discuss next?
Quite simply, I like the Eagles here. I think this is like almost an identical spot. That when we had the Chiefs who were -2.5 over the Lions earlier in the year. I think it's the same type of spot. And especially I know the Lions are riding high off that last one. Great call, by the way. Last week there was never a doubt on that one. The Lions -8.
Yeah.
But they were putting a lot. I mean, look, and that's not to say that so they certainly weren't looking ahead to this game. I mean, but this is a big game. So I mean, but this looks just like that spot against Kansas City, and we took Kansas City. I mean, Lions look a little too easy here because the Eagles have been kind of touch and go this season, but. From a spot perspective, I like the Eagles a pretty good bit. It reminds me just like that line, the Lions Chiefs spot.
Yeah, and I think matchup helps Eagles too. Jared Goff is very poor in comparison to when he's kept clean when he's under pressure. His completion percentage drops 30%. Now, every quarterback struggles under pressure more so than when they're kept clean, right? But like someone like Jalen Hurts, his completion percentage when under pressure drops 17%. Like Goff's drops 30%. Like it's such a big, dichotomy between kept clean and under pressure. And we know he's going to see pressure. The Eagles bring so much heat. Like if you look at pressure rankings, which you have on the site, like they're not at the top. But recently they added Jalen Phillips, who was he made a big play in that Green Bay game. They got Nolan Smith back from injury. They got Brandon Graham back from retirement. So like this team is going to be much better pressure wise. Also, Jalen Carter missed a couple games earlier, and now he's definitely on the field. So they should be able to get to Goff. So I would say the one downside, it's not really a downside, but like I thought we might get because whenever I see Goff on the road on and outdoors, I'm always like, what's the weather like? Because Jared Goff is so bad in the rain. And early in the week they were calling for rain, but now they're not. But so that's the only negative. But remember, weathermen have no idea what they're talking about, so there still might be rain. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't know. So.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm just from a spot perspective, I'd consider them.
Yeah. Okay. So, how much do you like the Eagles? Because Evan and I have them on our card too. So I'm all for putting them on our card if you want.
Yeah, let's put them on maybe for now.
Okay. All right. We'll put on maybe. Jeff Saturday won his first game. That's right.
That's right. The Jeff Saturday effect.
Yeah. They were playing the bad team, the Raiders, but still they did win, and then I don't think they won another game with Jeff Saturday. Have either of you men ever viewed the NFL as fixed or manipulated? I would be surprised if the NFL is not fixed. We know obviously the NBA is fixed in multiple instances. Tim Donaghy from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And then the prop stuff that just happened. So if the NBA can be fixed on multiple occasions, I believe that there's a good chance the NFL will be fixed. Also, I remember watching the Jim Rome show. Don't ask me why I was watching Jim Rome, but I was, and this is back when I was in college. We were in college. So this is actually, I think it was the year we were living right next to each other. So this is a long time. Yeah, this is a long time ago. But he was interviewing a former mobster who had to flee. He had to flee New York. Otherwise, he was going to be swimming with the fishes, I guess. And he was saying that he knew for a fact that there was a couple NFL games fixed per month, and there were a couple of college football games fixed per week. Look, I mean, I don't know how valid this guy is, like how much credibility he has, but I believe it. I think that whenever money's involved, if someone needs money, then they're going to do anything it takes to fix the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think, it could be the officiating. Like the officials, like, hey, call some holding penalties, try to make it discreet. So it could happen. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, fixed or manipulated, I love to give the benefit of the doubt and not use those words that have such a pejorative context. Influenced, absolutely. So manipulated, I guess there's synonymous depending on who you ask. But yeah, I mean, Tim Donaghy was a Philly guy too. I don't know if you guys haven't seen that documentary actually on Netflix, Operation Flagrant Foul. It's really, really well done. It's really interesting. So yeah, absolutely. I mean, to the point where in the NBA, the reason that those guys, Tim Donaghy and Jimmy, I think his name was, the guy that was kind of the middle guy from between Donaghy and the Mafia. They were going to basically expose the NBA for all that they've done, and then like they kind of took away most of the charges. I think they only did like a year in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Because David Stern was like, no, let's not open this up. Like more or less, they were gonna put every NBA referee on the stand. And David Stern was like, no, let's not do that. We'll make that part go away.
Yeah.
to give you like a plea deal. So yeah, absolutely, it's influence. So, and I'm pretty sure the Titans game is going to be influenced. The Titans going to win the game.
It's gonna go
So I
Tyson
heard.
too.
That's what I
Yeah.
heard. Yeah.
Yeah. Jalen Phillips was balling versus the Packers, should give Lions trouble. Yeah. He's that's a great trade for the Eagles, especially with the most penalties not being able to be challenged. That's true. Yeah, you could call a holding call in any play, and
Oh yeah.
it's like the street. Like if you're trying to fix a game and you're an official, and at least you're a smart guy, you're not going to call like the obvious call. You're going to be like, I'm going to call a holding penalty on half the drives here and just disrupt any drives and just make it discreet. And people are not going to be that suspicious about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes like you ever watch a game and like you can like tell by like the momentum of it, like when like the penalties come in, like I can tell, like, okay, I'm going to get this one. Like I can almost kind of see how this is playing out. So, I mean, I can't really identify specifically what I mean, but I know it when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, oh, like I think I'm going to get this. Like, oh, like they have a good play, but it's like another penalty, like sending them back. It's like, hey, like we can't, it can't go like this. So, yeah, it definitely influenced 100%.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what kind of offers would you be making for Hampton? Joe Alt injury sucks, but second in my league. I'm thinking about trying to snag him. We don't even know when he's coming back. Plus the Chargers haven't had their bye yet, so they believe they're off next week. So week 13, I assume, and you'll have him for the playoffs, I guess. I mean, look, it depends what you have. Like maybe a receiver 2 for him. Like, I mean, Hampton was being drafted late second, early third in the summer, so you would assume it would be someone around then. On Tuesday night, every Tuesday night, we do a live stream where I do a fantasy draft. It would be week 11 onward this week, and so you could see like the players going around that area, and if you have some of them, you could do it. So if you just search our channel, you could see our Tuesday live stream, and I did a live draft week 11 onward. So just check that out. Let's see anything else. Do you know what site to go to see how much money is on what side for each game? If Miami has at least 85% of the money on them, I think Washington strikes the upset. It doesn't always work that way. Look, the public's been slaughtered this year, but usually it's like 50-50. I don't think like you can just blindly bet it and profit. I think most years you're just going to break even like without even factoring the vig, so you're going to lose money. So I don't like that. I don't like that way of handicapping, but some people do that. There are a bunch of sites that have it. Like the what is it? Wagertalk.com has it. Actionnetwork.com has it. You can Google it and you'll find stuff like that. So anyway, okay. So, Tom, how do you feel about that? Just blindly looking at the public action for handicapping purposes.
Yeah, I used to put a little more stock into it than I do now. For hockey, I really pay attention to it.
Okay.
To it. Not so much with NFL anymore, unless it's, I kind of look more for spots where Team A is very good against Team A who's very bad, and Team A is coming off a very big statement win, and Team B is coming off a very bad loss, and Team A is only like -3 when they should be like 6 or 7 probably, and like
Right.
I love those spots where I like to take the underdog there. So as far as just looking at where the public money goes, it's not just that. It has to be that and other things, of course, where like a spot like I just described, and everyone's on that team that's favored by 3, that's far superior to the team they're playing. And I know over the years we've had a lot of your picks of the month have kind of followed that, or some semblance of movement like that as far as where the public goes. But yeah, I look for spots like that. I also tend to not like publicly backed underdogs for whatever reason. That's just kind of where my where my comfort level is. I tend to not take those, but I think we have taken a couple this year. I can't remember who.
Maybe. It's not often. I don't like that either.
Well, we both
necessarily.
liked the Eagles last week, and they were public, right? This Monday night.
The sharp money driving the money down. It's
Okay.
not like public. So yeah, I mean, well, the public's certainly on Detroit here. So this is I feel like it's just a bonus. It's like if you're handicapping a game, there's so many factors, and I feel like the public betting is a small piece that I feel like you can look at, but it shouldn't be your biggest piece. Like not even close.
Right. A couple things have to come together for me to really. I still like to know,
Yeah.
because maybe sometimes it can kind of sway me if I really like if I really like a side, and I think, because this happens to me, and you might have seen me talk about this on the show. Well, I really like one side, but I feel like, oh, am I the sucker because this seems really easy?
Yeah.
And then if like 80 or 85% of the money is the other way, I'm like, oh, okay, like that's me, because
Right.
I'm like a natural born contrarian on some level. It's like I love to go against the grain. It feels much more comfortable for me to go against the grain for whatever reason. That's just how I am. But and more than sports betting, just in life in general. And Walt's known me for a long time, so he can probably attest to that. But yeah, I mean, that certainly factors in on that front. If there's a team I really like, and I'm like, ooh, I feel like this is too easy, probably everybody likes them, and it's like, oh wait, I'm wrong. 85% of the money's the other way. Now I really like it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
So that's how I feel about that.
Tom, have you talked about your underdog of the week? I need it. Yes, we have. You want to give it away again?
Yeah. I like this spot for the Titans. I just can't back Davis. I mean, I know the Titans are really terrible, and we talked about this. Walt made some good points about how they do absolutely nothing well, and I agree. And but this spot, I just, especially the Texans they looked really bad for 3 quarters under Davis Mills, and then somehow, some way, they overcame a 19-point lead against Jacksonville. But especially coming off a big win like that, come from behind win, very dramatic victory. This team had trouble scoring with Stroud in there. I just can't picture backing Davis Mills on the road to win by 7 or more. I know the Titans are terrible, but I think I have a feeling this is just going to be a close one. I think this is going to be a closer one. Also, the fix is in, I heard too, from Tim. No.
Yes.
Let's hope so. If I had to put them on the card, because I locked him in at +7. So yeah, I like the Titans. I would not take the Texans for Survivor. Let's say that.
Yeah.
I agree. And it's hard for me to say it, because I am well aware. I like the Titans the first time these two teams met. I was saying earlier, parents, and the Titans just couldn't do anything then. They can't really do anything now.
Yeah.
So, but just something tells me. So that's my strong feeling for the week. We've had a good track record with these underdogs. I guess I'll just keep going with my gut, as crazy as it might seem.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it works, if you're on a heater, why not just keep going that way? All right. There are 6 games left that we haven't talked about. There are, I believe, 2 games I'm betting. So let's get to one of them, which is Seahawks Rams. I am slightly on the Rams, couple units, I believe. So it's kind of remarkable. Seattle, as great as they look, and look, they're number 1 in offense and defense. I don't want to take anything away from them, or at least I don't want to take a lot away from them. They're 7-2, first in offense, first in defense. It's great. But they despite them having 7 wins, they haven't beaten anyone above number 18 in my power rankings yet. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Like they've not played anyone, so they haven't had an opportunity to do that. And I guess like the one sort of good team they play is Tampa. I don't think Tampa's that good, but they did lose to Tampa at home. So there's that problem. Like they haven't proven it yet. And could they prove it? Sure. Could they win this game? Yeah, absolutely. But until I see it, I'll believe. Like I won't believe until I see it. Also, Sam Darnold has the same issue as Jared Goff. Like his completion percentage drops like an insane amount when he's under pressure. His YPA, yards per attempt, falls like 5 yards per attempt. This is crazy. Like I used Jalen Hurts as an example before. His YPA drops like 1.7 when he's under pressure. Sam Darnold drops 5 yards, like 5 yards per attempt, which is insane. And I bring up pressure because the Rams have a great defensive line, and we know they gave him issues last year in the playoffs. Like Sam Darnold was rattled. He had a great season, 14-3 of the Vikings, but he went against the Rams in the playoffs, and he was awful in that game. The Rams is still that same dominant defense. I question Seattle's interior offensive line. Their center is out. Not that he's a good player or anything, but still they're missing one starter. I like the Rams. I don't like them a lot, but I like them a little bit. They're not on my card, but if this were the Golden Nugget contest, we needed 7 picks instead of 5. Maybe the Rams would be the 7th pick. So how do you feel about this game?
I don't have a whole lot of interest in this one. I still stand by, even though they've been rolling some teams lately, I still stand by my claim that I think the Seahawks are overrated and are maybe frauds. I like the Rams here, but only a little bit, not enough to put them on the card. I didn't really look at this game too much.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll probably pass on it.
Okay. This guy's asking Dubs or Debo. I guess I'll go Dubs. Because Debo is catching passes from Mariota. I just don't trust that. Do you like that? I mean, you're as a Packer fan. How do you feel about this?
I'd rather take Jordan Love throwing a Dubs over Mariota. That's what I'd say. And he seems to really like to target Dubs. So yeah, I would go with Dubs. But Walter is much better at fantasy football than I am. So
okay. All right. Any other game you want to talk about? We have 5 more. We have to recap. We have Panthers, Falcons, Chargers, Jaguars, 49ers, Cardinals, Chiefs, Broncos, and Cowboys, Raiders.
Okay, let's see here. Geez, I can't believe how many favorites I like. I guess how about an underdog that I like? The Cardinals +3. Okay. Hey man, Jacoby Brissett, especially historically, has been pretty good to us. Remember the first year we did the Super Contest? We took the Browns +2.5, and I think it was definitely week 1, and Jacoby Brissett was their starter.
Yes,
and he ended up covering. That was, I don't know. Brissett's always been good. Hey, they've had some valiant efforts against Green Bay, against the Colts. Yeah. Even really, you could make the argument against Seattle. They came back and tied it at the end. I don't know. I feel like they're almost better with Brissett. He's been all right. And is it for sure that Purdy's coming back in this game?
I mean, Seattle first matchup, not second. Yeah. That was Murray, not Brissett, but yeah. Purdy's back, Pearsall's back for the Niners, and worth noting, Marvin Harrison Jr. because appendicitis. And Will Johnson, the top corner, is out again. Jonah Williams, their tackle, is out. Or I think he's questionable, but looks pretty grim for him to play. Or he might be out too. And Mac Wilson, one of the top linebackers, is out. Feels like Arizona has like a lot of injuries all over the place. Like nothing, no cluster injuries, but like it feels like they're missing one player at like every position.
Right. But the other thing I like about them, and thank you for pointing that out. When I was said it again, almost came back against Seattle, I meant the first time they played, obviously not last week. But that segues into what I was going to say next. I don't know. I kind of like teams the following week after or the following game in like basketball or baseball when they get blown out. That their game last week against the Seahawks, I mean, that was over before it even started. Mm-hmm. I feel like they were probably checked out by beginning or mid second quarter thinking about the next game. So I think that there's something to that. I know you and I have capitalized on that sort of thing in the past. So that makes me like the Cardinals a little bit too. I don't know if the 49ers, I mean, it's going to be the first game back from injury for Purdy. I mean, what kind of, I'm not quite sure how much of an upgrade it'll be over Mac Jones. Especially the first game back. So I'm a little hesitant on the 49ers there. So I think this is I kind of like the Cardinals here, but I'm not in love with it.
I feel the same way. I had 2 units listed on Arizona before looking at the Friday injury report, and now I have 0 units just because, like I said, they have like one injury at like every position. Looks pretty bad. Although defensive tackle, they might be down 2 guys, especially Walter Nolan, who's not played much this year, but he's had an impact when he has. So and also, yeah, the Niners are getting healthier, but you're right. Like there's a chance Brock Purdy just isn't 100%. Yeah, like the last time we saw him play, he came back from injury against Jacksonville. He looked awful. So maybe in his first game back, he doesn't do well. But then again, he was out for a long time. So maybe they took their time with him this time, and he's going to be better than he was in that previous game. Also, Pearsall being back again, we don't know if he's 100%. I feel like there's a lot of question marks in this game. I just don't know how these teams are going to play with their injuries and players coming back. But I would still take Arizona here if I had to. Luckily we don't have to. And so, yeah, I'm not betting this one. So,
okay. All right. What is it? Your turn here now?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're getting Pearsall. Yeah, Pearsall back again. We don't know how healthy he is. All right. One game I found interesting, and if I had any faith in this team, I would consider betting them, which is the Panthers. Now I know they're 5-5. Obviously, that means they won 5 games. So you should maybe consider having faith in them. Except Bryce Young is just so bad, and their defense is not good. They do run the ball well, and that could really help here against Atlanta. Atlanta's run defense was just so gashed last week. I know Jonathan Taylor, but all year they have not been that good against the run. So Carolina should have an advantage there, and also. Just looking at the injury report, Atlanta could be without 3 starting offensive linemen, and they were without 2 last week. Granted, they didn't have the right tackle, has been out all year, and they were missing Matthew Bergeron as the right guard. Bergeron's a decent player. He's not like a difference maker, but the big injury here for Atlanta is Chris Lindstrom, their left guard. He's one of the best guards in the NFL. He's all pro level talent. He barely practiced this week. He was DMP, and then he came back for limited on Friday, so he's questionable. So he could be out, or he could play and just like get knocked out early, or just be very ineffective. And I feel like eventually you're gonna have the straw that breaks the camel's back with the offensive line. Whereas like 3 starters out for Atlanta, including Lindstrom, their best guy. Is that going to be too much against the Carolina defense that has some talent up front with Derek Brown, etc.? I don't know. And plus, like, this travel schedule is awful for Atlanta. They're playing in Berlin for some reason. A 10.5-hour flight back to Atlanta. That's not nothing. And they don't have a bye week for some reason because they didn't take a bye. Just stupid decision making by Raheem Morris. I don't trust Morris either. I don't trust Atlanta to win by margin over 3. And I feel like this should be a close game. It is revenge from week 3, but I don't know. I don't like whereas like. If Detroit has revenge, I fully expect them to get their revenge. If Atlanta has revenge, I'm not convinced that they're going to do it. So I think Carolina keeps this close. But then again, I don't know how much I don't want to back them really with Bryce Young. What do you think about this game?
You think Rico Doodle Dandy is going to have a good game?
I think so. Rico Doodle Dandy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to start Doodle Dandy, I think. Yeah, I mean, look, this Falcons team has been so disappointing to me. I had high expectations for them coming into the season, and we see some snapshots of them playing well, and then it's just like dreadful. That other times dreadful doesn't begin to describe what we see out there. I.e., their first meeting against the Panthers. Another example would be that loss to Miami a couple weeks ago. You just don't know what version you're going to get, and you're asking them to cover more than a field goal. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, like the Panthers, I faded them last week. As I said, I liked the Saints last week, and I had them on my card. That was a great spot to fade them there. I think I just cannot back Atlanta at that number.
Yeah,
I mean, I this could easily, if they win, I think it's going to be by 3. So I do have some interest in the Panthers here. I'm not in love with the Panthers. I think they're certainly playing better. I don't think they're as good as their record indicates, but I mean, the Falcons, you just never know what you're going to get. You really do not, and it looks awful at times. So it would be Panthers or nothing for me.
They're like a box of chocolates. Just don't know what you're gonna get.
You do not, indeed.
Is this a maybe for us, or do you just not want to put them on?
Well, I mean, how much do you like Carolina?
Not that much. I like them like slight, it's a little bit more than a lean, but I don't think it's enough for me to bet.
Mm-hmm.
So we can leave it off. I just thought it was interesting. I thought the injuries and such. But yeah,
I think this is a tall order for Atlanta. And, like, keep in mind that these last two losses they had. Hey, they played tough against New England, sure, but they lost that game because of an extra point, or at least stop themselves from having a chance at winning because of a missed extra point. Then they definitely should have beat the Colts. So they kind of had two games against two very good teams, that they really gave away. I feel like at this point, especially that coupled with you don't know what you're going to get from them, I think there's a better chance that they're reeling here than they're going to bounce back.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm inclined to take the Panthers here. I mean, we can put them on the maybe pile for now if you like.
Yeah. Andy asking, how do Panthers come back from behind with no passing game and Atlanta plays good pass defense? Yeah, sure. I think if Carolina falls from behind, then they're probably cooked at that point. But what if they're playing from ahead? I get it though. I don't. If Atlanta's behind, I don't really trust them to come from behind either. Oh, and I forgot about this. Drake London listed as questionable. He might miss this game. He was limited all week. Probably will play, but and also I don't think like we can take this lightly. Like Atlanta's got to be really jet lagged from that 10.5-hour flight with no rest. So,
and I think the way they lost the last two games, the way they both really came down to the wire, it's just I don't know. I feel like the wind's got to be out of their sails a little bit. Plus, they're going to be tired. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's all right. We'll put on the maybe. Anything else you want to discuss?
On that one, no. That's good. Everything.
Well, I mean, next game. What is? And do you want to talk about the next game?
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
We have Chargers, Jaguars. We have Chiefs, Broncos, and Cowboys, Raiders.
What do you think about the Raiders? I don't know, man. This Dallas defense is terrible. The Raiders, I mean, obviously was a poor showing this past Thursday night, but they're coming off a long week. Hey, they were moving the ball pretty decently against Jacksonville. Not that Jacksonville has a great defense, but I'd say it's better than Dallas. I don't know. I mean, this seems plus 3.5 at home. But now that they have Bowers back, I don't know.
I wonder what the Cowboys' mentality is with Marshawn Nealon's death. Are they going to rally around it? Like the Redskins did that one game with Sean Taylor. They had a great performance after he was murdered. Or are they going to be like the Vikings with Corey Stringer, where they play the horrible Panthers and lose 24-13? Or the Bengals with Chris Henry dying, they did not cover the spread either. I think it's just a big question mark. But beside that, you just said Dallas' defense is terrible, which has been true. But they did trade for Quinn Williams and Logan Wilson. Like maybe those guys take this defense from 30th to like 22nd, and they're suddenly not terrible, but below average. Like what if they have that sort of an impact here? I don't know how much of an impact they're going to have right away, though. I find this game very difficult to handicap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it, and that's true. I somehow forgot about the emotional angle, as you mentioned there with Neal, and so yeah, that makes I'm not in love with it, but I would probably go Raiders plus 3.5 there if we had to, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be on the card.
Yeah, I'm like very slightly in Dallas. I'm not going to bet this game outside of like any live betting that we usually do on night games. Okay, so Chiefs Broncos, or actually I'm betting the Chiefs here, so should discuss that. This is not a huge bet by any means. It's like 2 units, but I love the spot here for Kansas City. You have Patrick Mahomes off a loss. Mahomes, I mentioned before, elite quarterbacks off a loss. Mahomes 14-9 against the spread off a loss. So it kind of goes along with Josh Allen's 15-10 record off a loss. Also, Andy Reid off a bye. Andy Reid off a bye is kind of renowned as being great. His record is 19-12 against the spread, which is not great, but consider that after like the first 6 or 7 years when he was covering everything, like sportsbooks kind of took notice and they bumped up his spreads for post buy. And so I don't think this spread is pumped up enough. Now, Evan and I had a disagreement here last night because I made this line Chiefs -6.5, and that is factoring in the bye week and stuff like that. Whereas I believe Evan made this line pick 'em. I think I'm pretty sure it was that.
Really?
I think so, or maybe Chiefs slightly above 3. I think. So if my numbers are right, the Chiefs should look good with the motivation and the line difference. Remember, Denver's not going to have Patrick Surtain. That is, that's a big deal. Also, you don't really I don't trust Bo Nix. Like, I know you like Bo Nix a little bit more than I do, but Bo Nix his footwork was so bad in that Raiders game, and he just looks like he's regressed. Now, I do think Denver should be able to run the ball in Kansas City. RJ Harvey should have a big game, and they still have a good defense despite Surtain being out. But Chiefs' offense has been a lot better this year, despite not having as good of a record. And they're going to get their left tackle back from his absence. So, the Chiefs' only injury is Pacheco, which is not a big deal. So, I like the Chiefs here. Not a lot. They're not going to make the card for me, but I will be betting them a little bit. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I'm inclined to take the Chiefs too. I don't love it either, but this Denver team is really overrated. They really look like that game against the Giants. They took a miracle fourth quarter comeback against and then they 13-11 against the Jets. Of course, they've had some impressive wins. They did beat the Eagles, but even at think of week 1 against the Titans, how bad the Titans are. And they barely covered that and didn't, depending on the number that you got. So, and the offense has looked terrible the last 2 weeks. So I don't know. I like the Chiefs. This number seems a little too easy to me. I think they'll win by, I could easily see this game being like 24-17 Chiefs. So I love the spot coming off the loss. The Chiefs definitely need this game too, especially given where they're placing the division. Crazy to say that the Chiefs aren't even in a playoff spot right now.
Yeah, that's insane.
But they definitely need this more. And they've been playing better. I think they should win this pretty handily.
Yeah, the public betting is only 60% on the Chiefs, so you don't have to worry about it being too easy. Is this any contest consideration for us?
Yeah, I mean, I do like it. That would give us 5 favorites, though. Are you okay with that?
Better than 5 underdogs. I would. Okay, so Chiefs are. I was looking at the wrong column. Okay, so yeah, Chiefs are minus. I'm going to put in the maybe pile. So Chiefs are -3.5. I was looking at the advanced line. I saw 2.5. I'm like, are they really 2.5? No, they're
that'd be great.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, for sure. Anthony Jackson with a $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Anthony. Really appreciate it. So pick one of Quinshon Judkins, Chase Brown, Rashad White. So
Judkins, sorry.
Yes, I agree. Not Judkins. Against Baltimore's defense, Baltimore ranked 7th in defense since week 8 when they got everyone back from injury. First of all, Baltimore has a good defense now, but second, Baltimore should be up by a lot. Like, there's a much better chance they're up than they're down. And so if Baltimore's up a lot, the Browns are not going to be able to run the ball nearly as well. So just consider that. So you take Judkins out. So you go Chase Brown versus Rashad White. They both have good matchups. Pittsburgh's, I'm going to bring up their run defense CPAs. Pittsburgh against the run is 21st. And Buffalo against the run is worse at 26th. However, I'll say this, that Buffalo will be better against the run later in the year, and it could start this week. I say that because Matt Milano, their best linebacker, has been banged up. but this is like his third or so game back from injury, and we saw it last year. I think it was exactly his third game. He was out for a while last year, and he came back, and he was awful for like 2 games. And then like his third game, he started playing well, and then like by the end of the year, he was like elite again. So at some point, he's going to be 100%. It could be this week or could not be this week. But if it is this week, suddenly Buffalo's run defense can look a lot better. I'm not saying they're great, but maybe 16th instead of 26th. I like Chase Brown. Also, keep in mind here's another good thing in Chase Brown's favor. Samaje Perine's out in this game, so Perine tends to get the third down work. He'll catch some passes and the 2-minute drill and whatnot. That's not going to happen this week. That's going to go to Chase Brown. So I think Chase Brown has a big edge here, just over what he normally does. And so I would go Chase Brown. Also, if you start Rachaad White, you have to worry about Sean Tucker. Like there's no one taking Chase Brown's touches. Sean Tucker had more carries than Rachaad White did last week. It could happen again. I don't know if it necessarily will, but it could. But yeah, Chase Brown's going to get all the work. So yeah, Chase Brown for sure. So Anthony, thank you for the super chat. I hope that helps. Good luck. Yeah, say bye-bye to pass protection. Hello to Chris Jones. Yeah, for sure. Let's retain out. I think this is too easy. I'd like it. I don't love it, but I like it, Paris. But we're in agreement. The Chiefs seem to be the right side. Dobbins being out, I don't really care about that because Harvey is Harvey. This could be a Wally Pipp situation. Like Harvey could just take over the job and that never relinquish it. Okay, so we have one more game. We have. Do you have any thoughts? I guess not because we haven't brought it up yet. Chargers at Jaguars. Any thoughts here?
Not really. I'm inclined to take the Jaguars. This seems I don't know. I think this line looks a little fishy to me. I think so. I'd take the Jags. I really don't have a whole lot of interest in this game, so it would be Jags or nothing for me though. I don't know. The Chargers just continue to show us that they can't cover against outside of Pittsburgh, but I mean they couldn't cover against they almost lost to Miami. Yep. They didn't cover against Tennessee. I don't know. I mean, this line I would have thought this line would have been like maybe 4 or 4.5. So I'm surprised to see it that low. Which so my contrarian mind is inclined to go with Jacksonville, but I'll stay away from this one. I don't have a lot of interest. What about you?
Well, how much of the betting action do you think is on the Chargers?
70.
73. So yeah, you're right in the ballpark there. Yeah, I thought it'd be higher too. However, the Chargers missing both tackles is an issue. So I'm not high on them. But I think this could be like the Chargers Steelers from last week, like where the Jaguars might look good because the Chargers are missing both tackles, but then you remember, wait a second, the Jaguars can't really score unless they're getting like special teams nonsense like they did last week. Trevor Lawrence has been such a big disappointment. He may not have his top 2 receivers. Now he has Jacoby Myers, but he's still adjusting to the offense. He's still learning the playbook. And he's not going to have his tight end back, Brenton Strange. That's going to happen soon, but not this week. And also the Jaguars they allow the 8th most pressures in the NFL, and the Chargers can get after the quarterback. And the Chargers, as bad as like the Chargers offense has been in terms of protection, without Joe Alt, their defense is ranked 5th in EPA. So I feel like they should be able to smother Lawrence. But you're right though, like given that the Chargers is so inconsistent offensively without Joe Alt, this feels like the Chargers will win by 3. That I think by far is the most likely result in this game. And so we're not playing for pushes, like we need the 1 point instead of a half. So
yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah. So no real opinion there. Like very, very slight lean to the Chargers, but I'm not going to take it. Elite defenses compensate for below average offenses. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I mean we saw that Sunday night. So.
Mark Sanchez and the Jets, yeah.
That's right. Yep. Okay, so we will go over a card here and finalize it. So these are our definites. Let's see if you want to remove any of them. It is Vikings -2.5. against the Bears. The Ravens -7.5 at Cleveland. Buffalo -5.5 versus Tampa Bay, and Green Bay -7 at the Giants. Is there any game there you might want to remove?
No, I say we keep all four. I really like the spots for all of them.
Me too. All right, so now we have to pick one of these next four. We have four maybes. Okay, here they are. We have the Bengals +5.5 at Pittsburgh. We have the Eagles -2.5 on Sunday night versus the Lions. Panthers +3.5 at Atlanta, and Kansas City -3.5 at Denver.
What do you think? What do you think this line would have been? This Panthers-Falcons line. What do you think this line would have been if Carolina would have beaten New Orleans just kind of how everyone thought they would? After winning those games there, they were favored against New Orleans. They lost.
Yeah,
I think would they be favored? Would this be like a pick 'em? I don't know.
I don't think they'd be favored, but it's 6-4. They certainly wouldn't be +3.5. I think +3, maybe +2.5. I don't think they'd be favored on the road.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how I don't know. It seems like the sentiment kind of really shifted on them after one game.
Yeah. What if Atlanta held the lead over the Colts? Yeah, a lot. You can always what ifs,
Oh, that's true too. That's true too. I don't know. Jeez, I'm kind of sorry, just kind of talking this out here. I kind of want to put an underdog on there, but I guess I don't know. We've done pretty well with the favorites. I feel like.
Yeah.
Jeez, that Eagles line it really reminds me of that Kansas City Detroit spot, but then I like Cincinnati too because I just have absolutely no faith in the Steelers' offense, and their defense is a coin flip.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know which one sticks out to you here.
If I had to rank them in order, I would say Cincinnati, then either Philly or Kansas City. They're tied for me, and then Carolina. I think Carolina's last.
Okay. All right, let's put the Bengals on there then.
Okay. All right. Is this going to be my card though? This might actually.
Really?
This might actually be my card. Yeah. Let me look at it. I think. Yeah. I think it is. Yeah. It's my card.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at us. That's good luck. They say that brings you good luck when you pick the same card.
Who's saying that?
Confucius or
Confucius, yeah.
Or
Confucius.
Aristotle. Yeah, Aristotle or one of them.
Aristotle never finished in the top 3 in the Super Contest, by the way.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I thought he was.
I mean, it's true because he didn't play the Super Contest.
Yeah, one of those great minds said it.
Yeah, yep. Someone said it. I would go to the game in which the defensive gap is the greatest. Okay, so which one is that for the maybes? It's not Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. Both defenses are awful. Eagles, Lions. Both defenses are really good. Panthers, Falcons. What's the defensive rankings there? Let's figure that out. Carolina's 23rd. Atlanta is where is Atlanta? 11th somehow.
I love you throwing this somehow.
I don't know how they're 11th, but I know they're great against the pass, but they are against the run. They are 27th. So how are they 11th? I don't know. And then Kansas City. Obviously, Denver has the better defense, but Kansas City's defense is not too. It's 16th. It's not too bad. So the biggest disparity is Carolina and Atlanta, but the wrong way. So I guess that doesn't count. And so Kansas City, Denver is also the biggest difference to that, but that's also the wrong way. So I guess we're looking at, and so Detroit's defense is ranked higher than Eagles' defense, and so Pittsburgh's defense, we're taking the worst defense in all 4 of these games. So that doesn't help. You're overthinking Kansas City, I think. Possibly. If you say somehow, what's the point in using those rankings? I mean, look, I thought they'd be lower. That's what I
Yeah,
meant by somehow.
based
You know,
off the eye test before checking it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, because I knew they were so bad against the run, so obviously they're a lot better against the pass. Their pass rush is really good. Um, but are they really going to be the 11th ranked defense this week, given their jet lag? Like, I don't know. It's pretty rough situation for them. The worst spot out of all these, I think probably Atlanta is probably in the worst spot. That doesn't mean we should bet Carolina. I don't really want to have Bryce Young on the card, you know.
Right.
So yeah, I mean we could stick with Cincinnati.
Okay.
I don't think that's a big deal. So
Yeah, that works for me.
yeah. So in summary, and I'll put this on the card for people to look at the end if they want to. Holmes Hall Heroes at 27 and 23. We are going with this card: Vikings, Ravens, Bills, Packers, Bengals. So
All right.
There we go.
Yeah, I'd like. Usually, I'm hesitant with so many favorites, but I really like all of those a good bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do too. Yeah, yeah. Well, like I said, I'd rather have 4 favorites than an underdog than 4 underdogs than a favorite. So any final words before we head out?
That's good. Well, thank you, Parrot. Just gave us a super chat.
Oh,
You're gonna
cool.
okay. You're gonna go with my upset pick. Yeah. You know what? The Titans might make my individual card. They might.
Nice.
As
Nice.
crazy as it might seem, and maybe I'll come on next week and eat crow, and you can pelt vegetables at me. But I got a weird feeling, and my weird feelings have been pretty good. So
They have. I mean, you've called so many upsets here. So many. I feel like I need to outsource you. Like, forget boots on the ground in Europe. I need you to run. I need you to run the Survivor Trap pick of the week.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I can do that. I can take on additional duties as other tasks as assigned, as it would say on a resume.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
do
I
that
don't
live
know.
for Europe.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, the thing is, you know, it's tough for me because like I really have no, as I say, like stats or like from an X's and O's standpoint, I can't sit here and be like, well, this is why I think it's, you know, which I don't really have I haven't really had the analysis to back up these feelings, but they're there, and it's so far it's for the most part they've been right. So let's hope we can keep it going.
Yeah, you may not, you know, forget the X's and O's. You know the Jims and the Joes. Parrot, thank you for the 199 super chat. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see if Tom stays on fire with these upsets. Quacky's gonna start winning girls over on just vibes.
I do what I can, you know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right, anything else before we head out?
I think that's it, man. I can't believe that's 2.5 hours. I'm getting old, man. I get tired quickly.
Well, look, Andy and I did 4 hours. We can
I
go
saw
for an hour
that.
and a half more.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I get up early, I get up around 6:30 every morning. So
oh wow, why?
for my employer.
No, I mean, well, it's a Friday night. I assume you know. Well,
No. I just mean like I was up at like 6:30 today, so I'm like,
okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I start to fade fast. I can't do.
I thought you were telling me you're going to wake up on Saturday at 8.
No, not on Saturday. So, okay. But hey, thanks so much everyone for joining. I have a great time hanging with you as always. And Walt, thanks so much for having me. We always have a great time, buddy.
Yeah, absolutely. Love these shows that we do together. I mean, I love having all you guys on. Follow at Quacky_T on X. He gives out some picks sometimes. And yeah, so you can follow him here. Definitely check that out because his hockey picks are usually pretty awesome. So and yeah, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store, and visit walterfootball.com for tons of free NFL content every single day. And we could have done more than 4. Which yeah. Look, I go to bed at 6, so yeah. I mean, although I needed to do some work, but still, yeah, we could have gone 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. So anyway, good luck to everyone. Yeah, I want to echo Andy's sentiments there. Good luck to everyone. And thank you guys once again. Thank you especially to Anthony Jackson for the $2 super chat and Parrot for $1.99. But yeah, I'm gonna post a short video on Saturday talking about any changes or something. It's gonna be like a 15-minute video real quick on the picks. But yeah, otherwise we're gonna have a our regular scheduled programming next week with Tuesday through Friday shows as usual. So good luck with everyone. Good luck to all your bets. Have fun watching football, and we will talk to you on Tuesday.